Shout out to Ben Garrison.
Howdy.
Whoa, is that Naruto? Oh my god!
That was
Whoa!
Yo,
Is that beta coconon?
it is beta
Oh
kicking
my
on.
god!
Oh shit!
I got you something, man.
Oh,
I
what's
think
it
I
done?
dropped it on the way.
Awesome.
Uh-oh.
They fall? Yes, they did. I lost 2 of them.
Oh, hand warmers. Oh my god. I think that's for him, man. Yeah, give it to him. Yeah, I think he needs it.
He's got it.
Alright.
Oh, dude, thank you so much.
No problem, man. I was here last night and I left because my hands were freezing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sure.
Nice.
Yo, you are a fucking, like,
And
legend.
legend.
You're a fucking legend on, like, the chance. Like, they're going apeshit over you, man. They're going fucking apeshit over you.
So, how exactly do you see?
I don't know how they work.
Let me see the,
Hey, how do you use hand warmers? Simply open the outer package and expose.
Welcome to the college.
Expose it to air, no something necessary.
What do you do with this thing?
Just put it on. Put it on like a glove.
Put it on.
Yeah,
Oh,
just
you
put it
open
on.
this thing.
Yeah. As soon as it comes into contact with air, you know. Hey, you want to say some stuff, man?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, go ahead. Say your piece. Say your piece.
Yeah.
You've been here for literal hours, man. You're a fucking madman. What happened when I left? I noticed a car
Yeah,
came up, pulled up.
We're here all.
Oh wait, you're not supposed to open up the. You're not supposed to open up that because.
Oh.
Oops.
You just like rub it in your hands?
Yeah, I guess.
Open the outer package and expose the packet to air. No
Oh.
shaking is necessary.
I thought that were gloves. Alright.
So what do you do?
So you,
No, don't
there.
care. Just leave it. Just leave it.
and then you hold it like this. Alright, so
Ah, yes. Yeah.
Yo, you know Trump
You
passed
just
the
gotta-
anti-Muslim ban last night, right?
Oh yeah, I heard.
Majority Muslim countries.
He's
Obama
doing a lot of
actually did
things
that, you know?
as of recently. As soon as he got in the White House, started doing things like rapid fire. So what are you saying, man?
Nah, I'm just...
Under budget and ahead of schedule.
Want to say that mantra, or you want to like say peace or an opinion?
No, I come after school with all my friends. So
All right.
it's my fourth day.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Is it like Regents Week today? This week?
Yeah, my school doesn't have that. We don't offer it.
Oh shit! It actually is one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're talking about Obama.
Yeah.
Yo, do me a favor, follow me on Instagram.
Always got to get that plug in.
He's plugging in his Instagram.
Oh my god. You're rated.
What's the type of like system on Instagram? Is it like
Hearts, I think.
Yeah.
Likes. They're hearts, though.
Give this guy some hearts, some likes, some DMs on Instagram.
Yeah. Ask me any questions you want about this.
All the way down to where they supposed to be thread.
I think he's technically underage at the moment, so please do not send him any illegal images of any sort.
Don't send him Jackie Rule 34. Come on, guys. Don't do it.
Oh, I got one.
Apparently, Paper is coming.
Who?
Paperboy, a rapper, black rapper.
All right.
Yo, Omar's coming.
Omar.
Omar's coming.
Shout out to all the kids going to school.
Can I give another shout out to Jackie? Because Jackie has honestly been here.
Hell yeah.
It was 5 hours at midnight, right? I don't know. 5 hours at night. It's now 7 a.m. This guy's been here since what? 5?
It's almost 8
It's like
actually. Yeah.
6 or something.
6 or 7 the day before. Last summer. It's like, no, I'm his son. I'm his son. This man got me through my heartbreak. This man got me through all of the pain and suffering that I was suffering through when I got here, and my goddess was not here. Thank you.
Listen. I'm not here to build a divide. I'm here to unite.
V is invading the stream.
What?
V is invading the stream.
Fuck you.
Yo, shout out to V.
No,
Shout out
it's
to
right.
Todd Howard. Buy his game. Shout out to
Apparently the camera's really fucking dirty, so
Fuck Steve Smith.
shout out to Tris, best girl.
They need that Logitech webcam that all the streamers use. That's the HD quality shit. I left my umbrella here yesterday.
Oh yeah,
Shout
is
out
it
to
that
all
or
the
that? Persona fans, baby, 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 baby.
Got 17 followers.
Shout out to the tip poster.
Shout out to everyone that bought us food
What are you
yesterday.
shouting
Like
out?
someone
we
bought us food.
we got
Shout
fucking
outs.
tendies earlier.
Some girl wrote his name on
I know you guys got tendies yesterday, and someone sent us a box of pizza with like coffee, and that's why like I left at like what 2:30, something like that.
I'm not sure. I forgot the time.
And I went to sleep and I slept for like maybe 2 hours.
Today's Shia's last day.
What?
What?
Today's his last day. Yeah, I was talking to him yesterday. He said his mom's having surgery.
Oh
So
shit.
her knee.
For what?
Her knee.
So he's not gonna be here, but
I don't think so.
I mean we've got 8 years. He's gonna be back.
Alright, so who's not gonna be here?
Shia.
Shia? Ah, that's fine. More time for us here.
We'll carry
Is it like fatal leg surgery? Because that kind of like changes.
I don't
the,
know how
the
leg
way
surgery
that you,
can be
like,
fatal.
sympathize with it. Because if it were fatal surgery, then you'd be like, okay, let us take a moment and we just have some respect. You know,
We
it's
should
someone's
get a
mom, they're
quad
sick.
Yeah.
Just have a little respect. But if it's just non-threatening, then
No, that's not.
Well, I mean, like, still can fuck up her name, you know.
true.
Shout out to Shia's mom. You haven't done anything wrong.
You are not a part of this.
Shia's mom did nothing wrong.
I can't find a thread on board. No, it's not looking. Yeah, Paths of Light. I'm sorry, guys. Paths of Light.
Search HW and it's usually like the first.
Oh, found one.
Yeah. Garo Sengan.
Watching
Dedication on back to Redeemer's Life.
Jackie has been here for almost 13 hours. I have been here
Shout out
since
to
he first sat down on the
Ow!
playground.
I don't know how you pronounce it.
Oh.
Ow! Said he's talking about Obama.
Are you leaving at 8? They want to know.
Damn, some of you are still here. Remember when I said that?
Fucking called me the comic relief. I've been vindicated.
Yeah, I should probably go. I have class.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely.
But
Shout out to this guy, giving me energy.
oh hell yeah, man! I've had the greatest time.
Yeah,
I've had the greatest time with you guys. Some of the shit that you guys have
Shout out to
drawn,
Sharding Mark.
posted have been fucking amazing. It's been inspirational. I'm so happy that I fucking got off my ass and came here. I'll probably be back. What's that?
Alright, one more.
Does that make you Sasuke? I feel like you're dedicated enough to be Sasuke.
Me?
Give me a follow. I'll follow you
What?
back.
Go him.
Oh, him.
Yeah, Galo Senga. Go, go, go! I miss that shit, man. That's like the old fucking.
Alpha Jesus,
Shout out
please
to-
return to us.
Shout out to the
Recognize
old
that.
memes
Where's
back
that
in
from?
my day. Huh?
Go.
Galo
go.
Senga?
Yeah.
It's the video. It's like a Japanese music video of a bunch of Galo people, which is like they're like Vegeta,
Oh.
and it's like an animated video.
Oh. Yeah, I remember.
When I describe it,
When's your class exactly?
9.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I'm in Manhattan too. So.
Alright,
Alright, see ya, man.
Hey, see ya.
thanks for joining the cause.
Fun at school.
Thanks, brother. Shout out to Bill Burr's newborn baby. Mexico and on. Shout out to good movies. Good memes. And good dance moves. Shout out to Shout out to Sheev. Uniting the Empire. Shout out to Doc Plagueis the Wise. Ironic. Shout out to fucking Bulgaria again.
You know that kid that just left?
You guys are pretty.
They found his Instagram.
Oh shit.
Oh, he plugged
He's
it,
a
so.
poor fucking high school kid,
That's
right?
what I told him he was gonna get raided. He's gonna get doxxed. Like. Shout out to Lizard King. Lizard King. That's a webcam. I'm not opening that. Can't open that.
Shout out to Tucker Carlson. Tris.
Series best girl.
Siri the
Siri's the mini Geralt. But a girl.
Oh, I mean, I'm not
And
really.
super fucking
Yeah,
hot.
I'm not into incest, so.
She's not. No, you're not supposed to.
Yeah, she's like.
It's a Geralt. She's like separate.
I know. I
Separate.
can't do it. She's his daughter. I can't. That's fucked. That's fucked.
Jesus wouldn't Siri.
Siri.
That's
Siri. No, I mean Siri is not for sexualizing. Okay, she's pure. All right.
Almost one anime crossovers on YouTube.
Shout out to Cabbage and Outer Haven.
Why is a white nationalist movement composed of multi-ethnic people?
We already
Shout out to
confirmed.
David Hayter. David Hayter's the one true voice of Snake. I don't give a fuck.
No,
what
this is the one
other
true
guy
voice of
did.
Snake.
Archon,
Oh,
I've been here for like 4 hours, and no Antifa fucks in sight. I was ready to pop a cap in their asses. I'm ready to throw a couple commies off a helicopter, to be honest.
Stay Jesus, Antifa are on their
Massacre.
way.
This one goes out to all my friends from V.
Or
I can do Kiefer Sutherland.
That's like my only.
Miller,
Oh, Jesus.
what's happening?
I can't do it.
Don't worry, Anons. He's Jesus. He'll be back in 3 days.
I'll be back in 3 days. You'll see me again.
Praise be.
Praise be. I'm not gonna shout out to furries. Not gonna do it. Not gonna encourage degeneracy that way. Stop masturbating. Especially to furries. Shout out to Griffith. Griffith did nothing wrong.
Fuck you!
Griffith did nothing wrong. If you were in his position, you would do the
Griffith
same
is a
thing.
piece of shit.
Shout out to Griffith.
You don't know who Read Berserk, you
Oh, yeah.
Hold on. That makes me
Oh,
want
I
to play this
keep
one.
forgetting he's a guy.
I don't think you understand what
Jesus is a
anime
Griffith
is.
apologist cuck. Who
Griffith
likes
did
to watch
nothing wrong.
Asuka get fucked by a
Hell
man.
yeah,
I only
dude.
watch shonen anime
Casca is for
Like-
sexualizing.
like Keijo.
Actually, I was about to say watch Berserk, but that's a huge mistake. Read Berserk.
Read Berserk.
I like the anime,
But
the one season anime.
The art in the books are so oof. Delicious.
As someone who
Actually,
owns
one of
all
my
37
teachers voiced
volumes of Berserk,
Nosferatu.
yeah, just fucking read it.
Zod.
I haven't read Berserk. I haven't read JoJo's.
Is that a fucking JoJo reference?
Is that a JoJo reference?
That guy's warning his daughter not to like look at the weirdos.
Traditional Nazi. So put your glasses on.
Oh, and you guys are saying I brought like a million fucking battery packs.
Seriously?
Yeah, I brought like legit.
Oh fuck.
As many as I could carry. Cable charge speaker?
Fuck.
I don't
No.
bring the cable. I brought the battery. I thought. Is he one of us? He certainly looks like he's one of us. Like, what the fuck is that? This dude wearing like.
Guys, there's a furry coming. It's a fucking furry. Oh shit. We got a furry.
weebs,
There's a fucking furry
Saudis,
coming.
Chinks.
She's got like dog ears on or some shit.
No,
It's
you're
actually
a
a
sea
flip.
monkey. You're a sea monkey.
It is now 8 a.m. Good morning, folks. It is a beautiful day outside.
Around your neck?
You will not divide us. What's up?
Hey, what's up, man? Can you say your piece?
I have. What's up?
Hey, what's up, man? What's up?
Ha, paper, yeah. What's good? It's your boy Paperboy from the suburbs.
Ah,
love.
Paperboy.
Oh,
that's
Paper.
Paper.
One love. Here's my friend Elisa. We were just making art. One love, guys. He will not divide us. Hey, 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 he will not divide us. He will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. Hey, paper. Yeah.
Any other lyrics? No?
Any other lyrics? Oh, there's a lot of lyrics.
Ah.
Can I teach you guys to dance actually?
Alright.
I'm gonna teach y'all the He Will Not Divide Us dance right now. We're about to turn up. It's your boy Paperboy, Prince of the Suburbs. One love. Shout out to these guys right here. spreading love early in the
No,
morning.
we got a shout out now.
Holy
That's
shit.
great. We've been shouting out people for fucking hours.
Yo, shout out to these guys. Shout out to y'all, by the way.
Absolutely.
I want to do a shout out too. If you guys want me to do a shout out, go to my Instagram at paperboy the prince and use the hashtag he will not divide us paper. He will not divide us paper hashtag on Twitter, and I will shout out. All right, here's the dance. You ready?
Yeah.
It's simple. Elisa, I want to show you this dance too.
Okay.
This is my friend Elisa. She's from
Hi, Lisa.
she's from Chile.
Oh, great.
Hey, nice
Yeah.
to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Paper.
That's it. All right.
Hey, paper, what's up?
What's up?
Okay.
All right, so the dance is like this. All right. It's like he will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. Hey, 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 he will not divide us. All right, cool. So we warmed up. The dance is like this. It's like this. He will not divide us. Hey, 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 he will not divide us.
Is this a JoJo
He will not
reference?
divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. JoJo the singer?
Yeah.
What?
JoJo reference?
What makes you say that?
I just feel like that's something that, you know.
JoJo the singer?
Yeah, that's what.
No, that's funny. I love JoJo though.
Yeah, me too.
I love JoJo. This is just like supposed to be a dance. It's kind of just a fun dance. Like
Right.
he will point like he will not divide us. And then you give yourself a hug, so it's like he will not divide, and then you hug yourself, and you point again. He will not divide us.
Jesus. It's 8:03. We should probably head out.
Yeah, you're right.
You guys heading out?
Yeah.
Shout out to Jesus. He's a really good man. Very high
Shout out
energy.
to Jackie.
Wait, there's still chicken tendies left?
Huh? Yeah, Jesus. Yeah.
Paper.
These aren't like
Huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I might take my leave here. Thank you to all the kind people on the internet that has been sending me good words, good vibes,
Oh, yeah.
and I wish you the best of luck.
You have
like the actual delivery guy, the Mexican
Yes.
bring. Okay, just making sure because we have some people drop in a random car. bringing food.
Appreciate that.
Alright, see you, paperboy. And what's your name again?
Elisa.
Lisa. Alright, see you later.
Nice to meet you.
One love.
Hey, yo. Jesus out. I'll see you guys soon. Have a good time. I'll miss you guys. Oh my god. You really gotta.
Wait, who is that shit? Who is this?
This is the whole world.
Where is it?
This is the whole world.
Yeah.
Greeks are white.
I love
Slavs
you.
are white.
Slavs are white.
Shout out to
Tribes are gay.
We're all white.
shout out to
Send out that good message.
shout out to Sky's Wizard. Listen, we're gonna start out with positivity.
Yeah.
I brought this friend right here because she's so positive too. We're here to spread love today.
I
There's a
love
lot of
you.
people that want to spread hate. There's a lot of people who want to spread division, but he will not divide us. We're gonna change the world today. He will not divide us. Today is about passion. Today is about love. He will not divide us. Alright? Now listen, he will not divide us. Hey, 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 he will not divide us. He will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us.
Put some background.
He will not divide us.
This like rock
This
some
is
stuff.
the dance. Alright, we're about to hit the dance. Actually, yeah, she said she wanted to do it to a beat. I have some beat. Let's see. Let's see what we can do. Alright, we're about to start it. Let's hit the dance. Hey, he will not divide us.
Ambrosio,
He will not
twat!
divide us. He will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. He will not divide us. Hey, 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 we having some fun. Hey, he will not divide us. Hey, get it.
I'm getting Jackie's digits, baby.
Yo, Jelly?
Hey, one love. Listen, we're spreading love today. You can change the world. I don't know where you are right now. You might be feeling down about something. You might be feeling like the test you took yesterday wasn't going your way, or your mom yelled at you. You might have got fired. I'm here to tell you, it's a good thing you got fired.
Yes.
Glad you got fired.
I love you so
You can make it
What
happen.
love? Greeks and Arabs are white.
Let them show.
You can spread love and we're having fun today. Go for it.
God bless you all, and God bless America. I love you all.
Show me a smile.
Importantly, they can't
Chill
divide
out. Yeah.
you. We gotta speak love right now. You know what I mean? We gotta speak peace. We gotta speak happiness. You know what I mean? I know there's been a lot of hate on
Yes,
this
but you
stream.
also have to work with your doctor.
Right, you do. But
Yeah.
dude, I like the rock you have around here.
Thank you.
What's that?
It is the symbol of my clan. I come from the hidden leaf village of Kona.
Sé que tienen las
Symbolizes
flores
my ninja way.
lloronas, las
Wow, he's a
flores
ninja.
del campo santo.
Yeah, like we walking, where we walking, where we going. We out here if it's raining or it's snowing. He will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. Yeah, he will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. He will not divide us. Yeah, he will not divide us. Yeah, he will not divide us. Yeah, he will not divide us. He will not divide us. Early in the morning. When I'm like a millionaire and da da da. No, you have to be excellent right now. You have to be excellent right now. So then when you get there, you already are experienced. Because once you're a millionaire, you're gonna be around other millionaires. Ask Shia LaBeouf. Once you're around other millionaires, then it's like, how would you feel to be the worst around the millionaires? You want to be excellent? It starts today. He will not divide us. It starts right now. Just everything you do, put your all into it. Be creative with it. You know what I mean? Be passionate about it. Think about it every day. Tell your friends about it. He will not divide us. When you have something you want to do that's fun, you want to jump around with your friends, you know what I'm saying? Take a risk, because he will not divide us. Today is the day, yeah. Right now is the time, yeah. Listen, some people are not going to get with you. Hey, he will not divide us. 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 He will not divide us. Hey, 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 watch us. And that's what I want. I love that. But also, like after you're done with this, travel. Go outside. Explore. Make sure your bare feet
Not to wait for 4 years.
Right, it's going on for 4 years. Make sure your bare feet touch the grass today. Make sure the sun hits your cheek today.
Did you just touch my food?
Yeah. Make sure the sun touches you. Make sure you breathe natural air today. Get outside your house at least once.
I'm going.
God!
This is my friend Elisa.
Ambrosio twat.
Yes, follow her at Ambrosio Twat. Listen, shout out to Rodrigo Martinez, Rodrizby on Twitter.
I want to get my Easter.
Shout out to, hey, I love you, man. I love you back. Shad Lele Kex. I am shouting you out. Shout out to DJ K88 for using the hashtag He Will Not Divide Us paper. Shout out to James Onyx from the Philippines for using the hashtag He Will Not Divide Us paper. Shout out to Shadilay and Naruto for using the hashtag He Will Not Divide Us paper. Us. Hey, he will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide. Stop saying you want to do something little. Divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. Say you want to do something big. Divide us.
The world is watching.
He will not divide us. Everyone watching. He will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. He will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. He will not divide us. You can do it. He will not divide us. It's your time right now. He will not divide us. Stop quitting. He will not divide us. Stop quitting. He will not divide us. Keep going. He will not divide us. It's good if you're failing. He will not divide us. That means you're trying new things. Not divide us. Hey, he will not. That means you're pushing yourself. he will not divide. If you failing, he will not divide. That means you pushing yourself, he will not divide. Be proud of yourself next time you fail. Divide us. Hey, he will not divide. Just keep going. Hey, he will not divide us. Don't quit, he will not divide us. You can do it, he will not divide us. Right now, he will not divide. It's your time, he will not divide. You can make something big happen, he will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide. It's your time, he will not divide us. I love you, he will not divide us. She loves you, he will not divide us.
We love you.
He will not divide us. Hey, he will not. Good morning. Hey, he will not divide us. You can do it. He will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. He will not divide us. Let's go. He will not divide us.
Good morning. He will not divide us.
Good morning. He will not divide us. Hey, sing it. He will not divide us. Hey, we need to destroy that patriarchy. Spread more love. Men, not divide. Support your women. Support the women all around the world, guys. They need you. They're gonna make you stronger. They already been making us stronger as men. He will not divide us. They're gonna make you stronger. Support all the women. Hey, he will not divide us. It's our time. He will not. Hey, he will not divide us. 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 Let's go. He will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us.
The moms are bigger cucks than I am, and I spent $30 to go see a girl.
He will not divide us. Hey, he will not. Let's go. He will not divide us. Spread love. He will not divide us. It's okay. He will not divide us. Be yourself. He will not divide us. It's okay.
He will not divide us.
Hey, he will not divide us. Be yourself. He will not divide us. Be yourself.
He will not divide us.
Show your face. He will not divide us. Show your face. He will not divide us. Spread love. He will not divide us. Let's go. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. Let's go. He will not divide us. Hey, 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 he will not divide us. We have fun. He will not divide us. All day. He will not divide us. Let's go.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. Hey, he will not
divide us.
Good morning.
He will not divide us.
Meditate. He will not divide us. Hey, he will not. Show your face. Oh.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
Hey, he will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
Good morning. He will not divide us. One love. He will not divide us. One love. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. What? He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
I heard twice.
Perfect.
He will not divide us.
He will not
divide us.
Hey,
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. One love.
He will not divide us.
Hey, he will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. Hey,
He will not divide us.
shout out boganon off for using the hashtag he will not divide his paper. He will not divide. Shout out Lauren's Tweeta for using the hashtag. Use the hashtag he will not divide his paper. Divide us. Hey, he will not divide. He on his Illuminati. Divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide. Hey, he will. Shout out Travis Walter for using the. Hey, he will. Shout out Travis Walter for using the hashtag.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. Hey,
He will not divide us.
Hey, he will not divide us. He will not divide us. Hey, 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 he will not divide. Spread love. He will. Shout out Negro Tarantino using the hashtag he will not divide his paper. Not divide. Shout out King Lyle. He will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. Hey, he will not. Shout out Steph Adidon using the hashtag on Twitter. Not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us.
A shout out for Igor Bogdanov. A shout out for
He will
him.
not divide us.
He will not
Is there
divide us.
Wi-Fi over
He will
here?
not divide us. I don't know.
He
You
will
know
not
if there's
divide
Wi-Fi?
us. No.
Is there Wi-Fi?
And I'm almost positive the stream has been down for the past like 30 minutes because the people that we've been talking to, like as we went over to the side, checked our phones, they said the stream like died out. I don't know, there were problems last night too.
Yeah, the stream died last night.
Hey guys, is the stream even on?
He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
Yeah, because I was watching
will
last
divide
night and
us.
it was off for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it went off.
Right when Brittany Venti
Was it on now?
I don't know, check.
came on, the stream cut off. I don't know if it came back on. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
I think that was
He
good.
will not divide us.
Madara?
I think it was good too. You guys really spread your message to everyone that really needed it. Thank you guys so much for that.
Oh yeah. Oh, I wouldn't be leaving yet. I was leaving my car.
Somebody's art.
Arts, what?
Oh yeah. Shout out to Shia LaBeouf and actually whoever on that thing right there says all the info about the project.
Divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not.
That you find in the street. Don't buy more shit.
I got this coat and I always recycle and I always donate to this place, so I thought it was gonna be okay. I was like, you know what? I might just.
Don't fucking buy more shit. You are harming the planet. Be
Shout out to Kizzy
conscious.
Let's see. We're about to do some Twitter shout outs. I don't do enough.
Preserve your integrity.
He will not divide
You
us.
are fucking
Use the
ecologic.
hashtag
I
He will
love
not divide us
Mother
page,
Earth.
so I
You
know that
have
you're
to
a
be
real supporter.
consistent.
Shout out to, and this is a powerful woman. Shout out to all the powerful women out there, like who are just bigger than that. Shout out to Not for Grandpas.
Just the goddess. Just
Shout out
challenge
to-
even
the
in final
divine
form.
feminine.
Shout out to Base
balance.
Fat Morny.
Fucking character, thanks man.
Shout out,
Rest in peace,
Do the thing.
patriarchy.
shout
Give
out
us
to.
your energy.
Alright, cool. So that's a couple people on
Give us
Twitter.
your energy.
These are people who added me as well.
Rest in peace,
Everything in the
patriarchy.
universe.
Yeah, rest in
raise your
peace,
lungs.
patriarchy.
Oh, shit.
Shout out Augusto Pinochet, the helicopter pilot. See, we got pilots. Shout out everybody out there doing their job. Shout out
Rest
Don
in
Mary
peace,
for using the hashtag.
patriarchy.
Shout
Bullshit.
The hashtag He will not divide us paper. Shout out to yeah, okay. To Pole Bart. Listen, we're spreading love today. Wait, is that a bad thing to say?
Not a bad thing to say, it's just a reference.
What's it a reference to?
No, something tame. Something tame.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Thank you everyone, all of you guys, all of my great friends. I hope I redeemed myself and I'm no longer a beta cuck. Tell my story. Remember me as I was.
Yo, this guy is wild. He reminds me of this kid I used to hang out with in middle school. Yeah, but, oh, that's what I meant to say earlier. And this is a perfect person to talk with it about. And he's a perfect example. I'm a perfect example. You all are perfect examples. In your life, be yourself. He will not divide us. Be yourself. He will not divide us. Don't be afraid to be you. Some of y'all are like, man, I don't fit in at school. I don't fit in at work. I don't fit in at the gym. I don't fit in on the street, on the train. I don't fit in on the internet. I'm not cool, da da da. I'm gonna tell you this, don't be afraid to be yourself. Just be you. Because when people see you, it was crazy the difference of the 2 days.
Oh my god. And just the demographic of people.
Yeah, we should tell them about that. We should tell them. You guys, they were also at the inauguration and the Women's March in
And
DC.
just the difference of like people on the subway, like
people
you
have
go
to
on the
play
subway
yourself.
probably around, I don't know, and like for inauguration, you go on the subway
Right.
around 10, and then, but it was so easy, like there was no line, the subways weren't crowded.
Right.
And then we were going down, and it was really fun. It was just like, we didn't even take the subway, people were walking back, and we were like, Uber, walk, like, there were people walking 3 miles, it was like, subway.
The Women's March, I saw an aerial shot, and it was people, and everywhere in DC, whereas the Trump inauguration, it wasn't that many people.
Yeah.
And I actually saw a report that came out that Trump's, he was paying a lot of his people. Like, he still owes, it came out that he still owes $12,000 to one of the agencies that was like, so because it didn't make sense. Right. And it was so warm. That's the thing. I went to Obama's first inauguration. It was freezing cold. It was like 10 degrees or something. DC doesn't even like get that cold that often. Yeah, and then Trump, it was actually a nice day in DC. The end of January, it was like what, 45? And then, you know, the Women's March, you know, was just awesome. So, yeah, I've been trying to get this guy to show his face. He doesn't want to show his face. Then he wants to, you know, play songs and everything. Yeah, come on, man. Show your face.
I'm leaving. Just people ask to play your song before I go.
What song is this?
It's song supporting Eastern troops against Russia right now.
Eastern troops against Russia.
Yeah, because Russia is pushing us away.
Whoa, he will not divide us. That's divisive, man.
No.
That sounds
It's to
divisive.
keep us together, man.
Nah, that's dude, this is war video. Man, that's a war video, bro. Nah, bro.
People ask.
You're putting on war stuff. He will not divide us.
That's what
You're trying to spread division. Come on, man. And you're not trying to show your face. You're trying to divide us with this type of stuff. Come on, man. Come on, man. He will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. For love we have to go through. And the NYPD, they're actually looking out and showing love while other people are trying to make threats and stuff. There's just a box here and they just thought it was a bomb or something like that and wanted to come search it. You know, they're taking it seriously. We appreciate that. And shout out to the cops. Please keep taking these threats seriously because, you know, he will not divide us. He will not divide us. Hey, 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 he will not divide us. In New York, he will not divide us. All over.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
Hey, he will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us.
I just want to give a shout out to some friends real quick.
Sure, why are you covering your face?
It's cool, man. I just want to give a shout out to some of my friends over here who's asked me to give it to them. Hello, Toll Nation. I just want to give a shout out to Z who says Ron Paul 2018. It's happening. Shout out to my friend Edit Pap who wants to give a shout out to all the nice posters on S4S. Shout out to the Big KK for making the Poll Nation website and Discord. Shout out to Something Wrong 1453, worst year of my life. Shout out to IXI for finally coming out of the closet, and he wants all you men to know it. Whoops, fuck. Shout out to Rabbit Frode. Shout out to my friend Ivan Destroyer, Saloon's a Macedonian country. And shout out to Neveranian, and shout out to John Molesta Pizza Pederesta. Mikon's the best girl.
He will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us.
Shout out to Nemzov for President of the United States 2050. You got a great ass, my boy.
He will not divide us. He will not. Hey.
Don't divide me or my wife's son ever again. Polls aboard a peace.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide. Hey, he will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide. Let's go. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
Shout out to Mustang, I Can Click, Ramforge, and Denyon. Best mods 2017.
I'm hiding your man voice. Oh.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. Yo.
Oh yeah, where is my yoni egg? What the fuck? I
No one
forgot
cared
it
who
at
I was
home.
until I put on the mask.
Okay.
Got my fucking
No,
yoni
he
egg
will
in the
not
house.
divide us.
Brooklyn está bueno, que me quiero ir, que me quiero quedar, que vamos a participar. Las peras, la puta de buena, que eres yo, show your face. Camina. Oh,
Queremos ver tu cara aquí en la calle.
señor, me cae bien.
Not the drums.
Oh,
Es muy bueno.
Yeah, grab them
Quiero
sticks.
mucho. He will not divide us.
Él no puede.
Johnny Egg is in the house.
Sí. Hola a toda la gente que habla en español.
The protesters are going to give us 8 years of funny memes.
Shout out to la rapera latinas.
Hey.
Hey,
He will not divide. Hey,
Hey.
he will not divide us.
Yup.
He will not divide us.
hey,
He will not divide us.
Hey.
He will not divide us.
hey,
He will not divide us.
he will not divide us.
He will not divide us. Hey, hey.
He will not divide us.
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 Let's go. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
Hey, he will not divide. Are we live?
He will not divide
When
us.
they see it, he will not divide. Turn up.
He will not divide us.
Let's go.
He will not divide us.
It's time.
He will not divide us.
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 Hey,
He will not divide us.
hey,
He will not divide us.
hey.
He will not divide us. Hey, get it. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. Come on. Hey,
Do
he
you
will
think,
not
do you
divide us.
really think it will last for 4 years?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I don't know, man. I can't tell the future. I only know 5 words right now. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. Want answers? He will not divide us. Got some? He will not divide us.
He is strong.
He will not divide us.
Let's go.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. Too simple. He will not divide us. Simple.
He will not divide us.
Too simple.
He will not divide us.
Too simple.
He will not divide us.
Hey, he will not divide us.
Let's go.
He will not divide us.
Shout out to Doug. And shout out to Annie.
Different languages. He will not divide us. Different languages.
What can we see?
If this is your
Arabic?
if this is your language, use the hashtag he will not divide us. He will not divide us. Paper.
Awesome. Wait, él no nos
Dividirá.
dividirá.
Él no nos dividirá.
Is that like Italian?
That's Spanish.
This is Italian?
That's French.
Oh, moly. Is
English,
this Italian?
French, Spanish. This is German, Russian,
Chinese.
Mandarin maybe.
I don't want to judge based
I don't know what this is.
Arabic.
And
Oh, that's
this says Hebrew.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. Yes, please. You tell them. You tell them.
divide us.
Well, you have to tell them why you printed these out. This lady brought these and printed these out. Please tell them why.
So that anyone can share, and any language that they speak, they can join, I guess, the group and how we feel.
The message is universal.
He will not. We just learned. Actually, let's teach her in sign language. He will not allow. We just learned it in sign language. She'll show you because she's better than me.
I'm doing it right. I hope I am.
I speak Spanish. Hablo español. Así que antes estábamos hablando en español a la gente, y toda la gente en España, y Guatemala, y México, y Estados Unidos. Mi amiga allí, Elisa, es de Chile.
Watch the dog.
Sí, ella nació en Chile.
I love puppies. Come on. Do you want to say hi?
Sure. Yeah. Elisa,
Yeah.
come on. Get up out your seat. Wait, what did I do with my phone? Oh, it's right here. Cool. Shout out to everybody. I don't know if anyone, there has to be some people speaking Spanish watching. Use the hashtag he will not divide us. or he will not divide us paper. Some people are saying that there might be some errors.
In sign language?
No.
No.
And I don't know. We will figure it out. Right now we are trying our
tell
best.
them to like tweet you corrections.
Yeah,
That would be awesome.
if there's a correction, use the hashtag he will not divide us paper, and I will see it. Shout out to Tattoo Beauty XO for that. All right, let's say it. Okay, yeah.
It could be people correcting that are like,
Yes.
like in different countries.
Someone says in Russian that says "Make America Great Again." No, that's not true.
What?
Somebody just got Shia a gift of chocolate chips. Shout out to whoever did that.
Set that up, have everybody get in
Shout
line,
out.
and one at a time, he will not divide us.
Let's do it. You set it up. Let's do it.
Oh shit.
Chocolate chip crisp flour power box.
Does it say from who from?
It doesn't. It says attention, Shia.
Goodell lies. Tom Brady's a cheater. Let's go Falcons.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
The right frog, some all up, some all down. That's what you guys know what's going on here. We'll share.
Wait, what did they do now?
Did somebody posting the alt-right frogs up on the wall?
Pepe the frog on the wall, and we just ripped it all
We
down.
just ripped them all down, ripped them up. Alt-right, the alt-right movement, and they have their frog masks
The
on.
4chan guys that like control everybody and that stuff. Like yeah, the one that
They was sticking right on a post.
yeah, so we just ripped them all down.
Like we trying to have something peaceful, and then you gonna go over and fuck it up. Let's go rip them up.
Oh boy. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. Divide us. He will not 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 divide us. He will not
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
Okay. Did you come here for this? Oh, got it. Okay. What do you do? Oh, nice. Okay. My friend is.
Yeah, it's sort of tricky how this works.
Yeah. And
So somebody
are you
just
guys
like
like
sent
told?
us down. Where's Shia?
He was here like an hour ago, maybe.
Does it just like come by?
And why did you come out?
I don't. This is the first time I'm here, but I know he's usually here like.
I
earlier
assume
today.
he's not here when it gets too cold or something like that.
No, he was out here in Marine yesterday.
Yeah, how do you
Yeah, he had a poncho on and everything.
I
I think probably just some drumsticks, maybe. I don't know.
So is somebody like move
Not
this around?
divide us. What?
So somebody like move this around or?
It stays fixed.
Stationary.
Yeah, it stays fixed. So people just come up and say, or say anything, you know.
anything.
Well. Good girl, you playing ukulele before?
I mean, like, obviously.
Yeah. We just got shut down on the drums.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide. He will not divide us. Together we unite. He will not divide us. Together we unite. Don't do that.
My solo song.
Come on.
If you say it loud enough, they'll be able to hear it.
Italian disco.
Bro, wait, turn it up. He will not divide us. 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 He will not divide us.
not divide us. He will 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 not.
He's just trying. They're trying to provoke. Right. You're trying to provoke us. They're trying to be positive. And you're saying they want their moment, like everybody else, like the other people that came. And yeah, but why are you guys being so negative?
Honest to God, at the face value, negative.
Look. You got what I need. Yeah, we're trying to say. This is not a joke. He will not divide us.
We understand nothing can divide us.
Oh, let it fly! Yes, let it fly!
You guys don't agree. You guys can always agree.
Is that shit in your hands?
These people don't understand history.
He will not divide us.
Rip that shit. Rip it.
No! They're trying to make a funny joke out of it, like they're putting things up and shit. It's not funny.
I just want to
Okay, so now.
come here, like fucking niggas who trying to do something, like really.
We're just experiencing it.
The New York experience is when you join in and you have fun, not put your.
Guys, to make joke out of it, right. Make that political. You're not even over here like you will not divide us. You're over here like, oh, I'm gonna make a joke.
Alright, yeah, you do.
It's like we're here to be peaceful.
Nobody's
We don't
gonna.
want to fight with anybody. But,
Nobody's.
I'm just saying, if it gets offensive and it leads to violence and you leave with a fucking mouth, don't say shit, bro.
Okay,
must be
nobody's going
pretty
to.
nice to feel entitled to make a joke on a real political matter because we're privileged.
Well, I mean, if you put things in the political sphere, don't you expect them to make, a joke of?
But
That's politics in general.
you're the type of people who we don't want around because you're making a joke out of it.
Now, any
You
other
literally
side-
just went against yourself. Like,
Unifying message.
Wait, wasn't he on our side?
Not divide us.
bro, I know you're not about to do this.
Just leave it. Just leave it.
Bro, you was here the other day.
Leave it. Girl, leave it.
You was here the
Leave
other day.
it,
Wait,
leave
listen,
it,
I just
leave
want to
it.
talk to him because he was here. No, stop. You was here the other day, right? You was cheering. You was standing right next to Shia like, he will not divide us, right? So why are you going to go do that? Why are you going to try to provoke us when you were just cheering with us the other day?
Just leave it. Just leave it. Leave it.
Do your beef thing.
He will not divide us.
Like, like, why look like a hypocrite on camera? You remember your face. It's not like it's visible.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He has diabetes.
He will not divide us. 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 He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
Sane? Okay, cool. He will not divide us. 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 And I bring.
Do you know who Bogdanov is? Don't be afraid to ask about the merchants and the bugs. Take the bog pill. Take the bog pill. Don't be afraid of the merchants. Take the bog pill. This is Boganon signing off for the moment. Do you know what Bogdanov is?
It was always ours.
And as far as what I bring it, get my
He will not divide us. 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 Everybody, from Instagram, watches with 2 V's. Don't forget, before y'all didn't follow me, you should follow me now. Come here. Oh, no, you just blasted me. What you gonna blast?
Yo, can you guys take...
Yeah, I love the videos. Yeah, I'm a vegetarian, but I'm not like. I don't like it.
If we gonna party, we have to party before 8 o'clock, y'all. You guys wanna play? Oh damn! Right here. Right live on air. Come on, guys.
I didn't mean it to Mac.
Do it.
I'm just a
You
messenger.
wasn't prepared, right? Why you what's up?
Hopefully that gets out too.
So what?
Y'all savage, you know some.
Shout out to Mahmoud's Corner. Best of all food in Steinway. Shout out to Mahmoud's Corner.
Alright, come back another time. You got 4 years. But thanks.
I'm here with my best friend. He's kind of obese, but I love him.
Yo, shout out to Mahmoud. I love Mahmoud's Corner. Shout out.
Corner. Red.
Kek. Top Kek.
It's the Instagram, bro. Yeah.
Heard that? Donald Trump is a peepee head. Fucking retarded liberals.
Donald Trump's my son, God. Dead ass fucking ass. No joke.
I love you all.
On some homo shit. Dead ass, bro. I hate white people.
What's wrong with you boys? Only was tonight.
Share the book.
You're shy.
I'm not shy.
Are you? Are
What
you
is
brave?
this? What is this?
You don't know what that is? That is. Yeah, for beautiful beliefs, brother. What you believe? Human belief. Yeah, human belief.
I am a Puerto Rican Trump supporter.
Are you cool?
No, I'm not. You see, that's divisive right there.
All a lot of shit.
No, that's cool. You can do that.
I'm got this.
Go ahead.
I got my playlist on, brother.
No, go ahead.
You see that? I'm a Puerto Rican Trump supporter. And look what they just did. You see how they are?
He will not divide us.
I came here to find common ground. And look what they're doing to me.
Divide us.
He will not divide us! He will not divide us!
anything,
This boy
right?
called me a troll. What do you want me to say?
Say something. Play music.
Alright, so this is what it is. These guys, alright.
Let's hear it. Now let's hear it.
That's fine. Go ahead.
I am a first generation Puerto Rican. I voted libertarian all my life. I supported Trump this election because I do not stand for Hillary. I came in here and I asked what this was. I said I'm a Puerto Rican Trump supporter and these guys start screaming in my ear. This is what I've been dealing with, people. But I'm not afraid to speak my mind. I'm not afraid to talk about this. And if any of these guys want to talk to me about ideas, issues, I'm down. But right now they're jumping in my ear. I'll be back, y'all. What's up?
He will not divide us.
I respect your opinion. You seem like a cool guy, you know? But Trump wants to take away rights. Like, I understand not liking Hillary. I don't think she's that much like that good of a person. I don't think that she's perfect. But
Nah. We can't do that. We can't do that. You know what? You know, bro?
Now, wait a second.
You know what? No, let me tell you something.
No, you know what's the problem? Wait, let me just say one thing. This is the problem with today's conversation, right? I've been dealing with this all the time. I just say the word, I'm a Trump supporter, and I got people judging me, right?
I know the feeling. I just called you a troll.
Now listen, alright, so this guy called me a troll, but we know what that's all about.
Yo, bro.
Yeah.
So let me finish. Wait. The way I was taught growing up is you take all the issues and you line them up side by side, and you vote for whoever you agree with the most issues. Or if you work in a certain market or industry, you vote for whoever you think's gonna help you out. You vote for however you want.
Tell Trump.
But what's not good is what's
fucking live stream.
I can't call Trump.
Tell Trump. Exactly. But
you see,
this is what this.
I've been called every name in the book just for supporting Trump. And 99% of the time, they will never talk to me about any of the issues.
You'll never tell us why you support Trump specifically. Because
Free
what?
trade. He's gonna help the inner cities, which have been started. I've been fighting for inner cities all my life. We finally got a president in there who's vocally coming out and saying, I will revive the inner cities.
5 days is the
got a guy. And we got a guy.
He doesn't want to talk.
And
He just
between
wants to
Trump,
talk to himself.
Are you good?
Stop. Stop talking to him. Because all he does is want to talk to himself. You asked for an example.
You see, he's judging me. This guy's judging me.
You're not conversating. You asked for
I'm just talking.
Hold on.
No.
Hold on.
Y'all aren't talking to the camera too?
No, I'm talking to you.
Hold on.
See,
You're judging me. I'm talking to her because she's reasonable.
Can I talk? The Secretary of Education wants to defund.
We all here for one
I can't
cause,
afford
brother.
private school. I
I
can't
understand,
afford
yeah.
charter school. And these are the people he elects because they don't care about what he's going to do. They care about, this lady added $9 million to her campaign because she's been able to take over all of America's education.
Yeah.
She doesn't care about us.
I understand.
She wants to defund the arts. She wants to defund
I'm saying,
sports.
do you guys care that school prices, college tuitions have skyrocketed?
No, because the education
Hundreds of percent over the
Because
last 12 years.
Money has inflated. Money has
No, but you
inflated.
see, I'm not, y'all, like,
70s,
what was that?
Money is basically a social construct. It does inflate. We know that.
Right.
So,
Who prints the money in this country?
government.
The Federal Reserve. It's not part of the government.
We have no money. Zero money.
Yeah, we're in debt.
Yeah, we're
in debt. Okay, so that's a good start, right?
We're in
So
debt.
we talk about the Secretary of
So he
Education.
defunds everything. I understand he wants to keep the money for the U.S., but I think he just defunded Planned Parenthood overseas. These are people that can't afford health care. They can't afford women's health care.
Right.
And if they think
Do you think Planned Parenthood is the most efficient and the most effective option for women's health care?
I honestly.
Do you think that what they've been doing? And have you really looked into what they do?
I have, and I know you think that they're like selling baby parts or whatever,
Well, that's true.
It's not though. It was edited and it was proven to be edited by a whole group. You have to go to a gynecologist.
When I don't agree with you, you tell me I'm judging you, right?
No, you call me a troll.
All right, that's it.
That's a judgment.
But that was the only thing I said. Beyond that,
that's a judgment. And that's we will divide us.
Brother.
And I will never stand for
No,
that.
it doesn't divide us. You know why? Because you're still here.
Because I'm for unity. I'm not talking to people. You see, you see me and her?
Brother,
we're talking. That's how you got to start this conversation.
Bro, listen. You still here talking, right? Yeah. Everyone's hearing you out. That's fine.
But when we try to
what
speak
you believe,
we're judging you.
You have your beliefs.
I'm talking about you, brother. I'm
You have
talking to
your
her.
beliefs.
We're having a
Everybody else.
conversation.
You have your beliefs.
I'm singling you out.
Bro, your beliefs.
See, and that's divisive.
Yo, you gotta understand that too,
Yeah,
bro.
but you see, that's the problem.
You came
though.
in, but you came into,
and this is why I don't. This is why I
but
never.
you came into like a fucking
You're
bunch of
saying
people.
you single me out, that's dividing.
I didn't even know what this was.
You're saying you single me out, that's dividing.
No, but you know exactly what this is.
Because you single me out, brother.
Alright, so that's back and forth divisiveness. So don't even try to point that as a
Bro, support what you're saying.
What does that mean?
That's
Did
back
you
to
call me
back.
Why are you
a
on
troll or
that
not?
before?
Did you call me a troll or not?
But so what?
So that's
By your
divisive.
beliefs. No one's knocking your beliefs, bro. Go ahead.
Well, I don't care if anybody knocks my beliefs. I'm just here to
Go
say my
ahead. Tell
opinion.
your beliefs, bro. That's it.
Word. Everybody
I'm talking to you. I'm
else
telling you my
That's it.
beliefs.
That's it.
Let him talk to the people.
No
that
one
know.
can say or touch you with nothing, bro. That's your belief.
Well, damn right, nobody's gonna touch me. That's for sure. Because then we're gonna have problems here. We can't have violence
But
here.
that's some extra-
This has to be conversation here. You can't just go up to people and start yelling in their ears. You talk to them. This is a free space. This is not a safe space. And we're in Astoria, Queens. We're in Astoria, Queens. Wait, first he said talk. He said just talk.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You see, that's the thing here, man. I'm just trying to do me, but these guys, they don't care because I said the words Trump supporter, and look what they did to me.
Don't do that. You're wilding, bro.
You're starting. You're trying to
Don't
make
make
us
it
riled up. So let's not talk.
What is he gonna do? Bomb the hell out of ISIS, right? So no violence?
You think he's gonna do that?
Wait. Every president in my lifetime.
Bro, you Puerto Rican, bro?
Wait,
for real?
but you see, she rolled
You
her eyes
Puerto
at me
Rican?
as soon as I
You
gave my
Puerto Rican?
response. 100%.
I know, look
You
at
Puerto
this
Rican?
guy.
100%.
Damn.
Damn what?
Damn what? That hurts, bro.
What does that hurt?
You see what I mean? I've only talked about one issue so far. We got homegirl.
Person
She rolled her eyes at me.
I'm talking
And
to
this
you.
guy says, "Are you Puerto Rican?" Damn.
Yo,
Why?
but that's
Do we all gotta act and think the same?
But that's-
I don't think so,
that's
man.
nothing to-
You know what? There's plenty of Puerto Ricans who support Trump. Almost all my family
He's
support.
just trying to.
No,
get
y'all
us
are.
riled.
They're already mad.
Stop, bro. I'm by myself, bro.
This is the
It's
millions.
me, bro.
Y'all.
It's me, bro. Ain't y'all.
And you're yelling at me, right?
What's
We're allowed to
I'm
bring
just,
our votes
I don't. What you mean, bro? You coming into our shit, bro, and you doing your
This
belief.
is
That's
so now
fine.
this is his shit.
That's ours.
That's not my shit, bro. It's not my shit.
You see what I mean, man?
Unity.
You see what I mean?
Alright, let him
They're all united unless you support Trump.
We're trying to come into the United States.
First I've been called a racist a million times, but then I'm Puerto Rican, so then they can't say nothing. But then all of a sudden,
If you would have said he would have built the fucking wall against Puerto Rico, you would have felt some kind of way, right?
built a wall against
I'm just
Puerto
saying.
Rico.
I'm just saying. So what's the fucking difference between Mexicans?
It's called border security.
What's the difference?
It's called border
What's
security.
the difference?
It's called the
Why is
majority
it
of
in
fucking
Canada?
illegals are
Why is it
what?
in Canada?
11 million.
All right, if Puerto Rico was its own, if Puerto Rico,
You're not related to any Mexican, right?
Anything.
Hey, you know what?
We don't
You know
know
what?
this man.
Bro, Puerto Rican.
This is
Bro,
what I
that's
take
it.
my
That's
person
it.
believes.
That's it. That's it.
You need to stop that.
America.
You're not fit to argue.
It belongs
You
to
need to stop that
the
shit.
Native Americans.
Let me stop that.
I got a percentage too,
He
but
will
I'm
not
not
divide us.
I'm
That
actually.
camera
He will not divide us.
That camera won't
He
stop
will
you.
not divide us. He will 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 not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide
He
us.
will not divide us.
He will not
Nobody
divide us.
He will
belongs
not
here.
divide us.
Anything.
On a philosophical level, I absolutely agree with you.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide
He
us.
will not divide us. Yo, I'm gonna tell you, drop that shit
Right.
once,
It's
bro.
just Mexico. Not
What?
very
Can I
long.
give an interpretation?
Yeah.
Canada already has extremely strong borders and
Why not a
immigration.
wall? That's what
You
I'm
look at me, brother. You think I can?
Something.
You think I can?
Canada already has
No,
really
not
strong
divide.
immigration. I've been turned back from Canada a million times, and I'm just an average American. I've gone there for work.
What?
Now, I don't 100% agree with the wall with Mexico, but I do not see it
He's
as
not gonna try to, like-
explicitly racist. I see it as an attempt to control a border where there's a lot of drugs and weapons coming over. So, you know what? I completely understand y'all don't want a wall. But the last couple administrations have screwed us over on that level.
Yeah, he will not divide us.
Yeah, Obama and Bush.
Obama has been a great president. Bush, I do not agree with that.
That's what I'm saying. So we have a president now who's going to offer another solution. Now, I don't necessarily agree with it, but I don't see it as racist.
The thing is, though, he did call them racist and drug dealers.
Yeah, he said a very stupid remark. I mean, I only remember him saying all Mexicans are rapists, but he did say rapists come through the... Yeah, you're right. Yep. And you know, I didn't like him back then, but over time, I listened to both. And Hillary said a lot of things I didn't like, too.
I don't
She
like
called us
Hillary either.
needy Latinos.
Ooh.
And she said black people were super predators, but and they're friends with a bunch of pedophiles and sexual exploitation people. So, you know, I can agree with, but I ain't no racist. I just support who I thought was the better candidate.
But the thing is, as much as I understand what you're saying, Hillary, I don't like her either, but I feel like she's working better for this country because Donald Trump is a reality TV star. And I understand, like, supporting ideals. And
He won't divide us. I love America, but I won't be a slave to it. He won't divide us. Look at all this.
But if I
America!
You're my sister.
The president eats pizza with a fork and a knife. That's who you voted for. Holy shit!
We're talking about his ideas, and to me, that's an idea. And people start screaming in your ears, and they start calling you names, or like in the past, I've been called racist, xenophobic, and all this stuff. So when you got people calling you names, that's it. You see, I don't do that. When somebody comes to me and says I'm a Hillary supporter, I don't start yelling shit in their ears. I don't call them anything. I say, why do you support Hillary? And we might have that discussion. Now, this seems like a political hangout, right?
yeah, kind of. It's more like, okay, so the thing is, Trump, for a certain extent, he really does want to divide us. He does want to, you know, he really wants to separate us from the wall. And I don't agree with that. I agree with love. And his vice president, he doesn't agree with my love. He wants to shock me into being straight, you know?
I make you a promise, and I made the same promise to everybody I know who supports Hillary.
I don't support Hillary.
Oh, fine. Or anybody who doesn't support, or anybody who's questioning. I had some issues with Obama, and I gave the guy time to do something. If Trump starts infringing on my rights or the rights of any Americans, I will be on the front lines fighting that shit. I promise you. And I know thousands of Trump supporters who will get on his ass if he doesn't fix the water problem in Michigan.
They closed it. They closed the investigation a couple days ago.
Well, then that's an issue. See, I haven't heard that though. So we have different rates of information of when things come in. So this election, there was also a lot of false information on both sides, right? So my thing is you gotta talk to people and you gotta see where their head's at. That's what's gonna move the conversation forward. It's not me coming in here and saying I'm a Puerto Rican Trump supporter and I get called a troll and then people start yelling he will not divide us in my. I'm not divided. I'm here with y'all.
So the troll thing.
He will unite us.
There are people who come late at night when there's nobody here because they're too scared to say something, to be honest. And they come and they yell in the camera. You know, they talk about the Nazis and how Hitler did things.
That's a problem. Yeah, I agree.
And those are trolls who come from like 4chan, like the dark net or whatever.
Yeah.
And they think they're so cool. They like live in their mom's basement. And the thing is, that's the people we come to expect to come here and say, I'm a Trump supporter. You know,
I understand.
fuck Hillary.
So then, what people got to do is they got to drop their expectations and start treating people like individuals. Now, if you're on the social media and you're talking about Trump supporters, that's one thing. But I'm an individual. I came here on my own. I'm coming from work and I'm going to work after. I'm a musician and I bike just to earn a living. So I came here and I got yelled at. That's cool. But as long as we can exchange ideas, I think that's what's the most important part. And let's not be divisive with each other, man. Because I'm not trying to be divisive with y'all. But let's be honest, my man over there just yelled at me, called me a troll.
I mean, we're angry.
I ain't about that at all.
And you're angry at this point because
I gotta go to work. Well, I appreciate all y'all who didn't scream in my face. I understand that some of y'all might be a little. Y'all are passionate. Are you Latino?
Yeah.
We're passionate dude. I'm a passionate dude, yo. I will fight and die for what I believe in. Believe that. I will fight and die for what I believe in, but we gotta be civil and shit. This ain't a war, man. There's no wars going on here. Yeah, there's some racist white people, there's racist black, but it's all fun. So I'm banging out my tune. Hi, Brittany, shout out. Thanks for actually talking to me. I appreciate that. Well, I don't care about Shia or any of these, man. Shia could be right there. I got a nice series.
Hi, my name's Emily. I'm 13 and I'm terrified for my future because it is me. I'm Allison and I'm terrified for my future. Everything he's saying will end up affecting me, the future of America. And since oh my god.
My name is Tama. Divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. Divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He shuts it down. Y'all be upset. Why you shut it down?
Everyone's saying that he's not going to divide us. And the word will means future tense. We need to talk about present tense. Present tense means that he is not dividing us. Dawn is not dividing us. Dawn is not dividing us. Dawn is not dividing us.
I'm gonna give you my address, bro, later.
Address?
Come by my hood and do that shit.
Do what?
Do that same shit you doing right now.
What shit?
That same shit.
What shit?
That shit with your fucking,
Hey, you're hiding yourself. Why can't you
fucking
say
shit
that
with your
with
eye.
the get up?
Because I'm a ninja.
Are you?
You're a ninja? Oh my god, no village?
Exactly.
Who, the left out one?
Then show us the knife like
The left out
disappearing.
one? I'm very familiar with that.
Don't you like get out of here?
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah. And which one are you? The left out one?
Naruto.
Naruto. He's not from the hidden list.
No, I asked if you're from the hidden list.
No.
You said I'm from
No, you
Konoha.
say you're from the hidden
No,
list.
you said I'm from
That's clever. I like that.
You're a ninja, you would disappear right now.
We have a ninja.
If you're a ninja, you would disappear right now, bro. Disappear right now.
Yo, you got, where's your shadow leaf clone? Do that shit right now.
Actually, Kage no
Do your shadow leaf clones, bro. Make that shit disappear, bro. Go ahead, shadow leaf clones. Disappear into Brooklyn.
Do this like run and just whoppa. Dip to your hood.
Pop all these nuts.
What was that? The substitution, yeah, do that shit.
You because he came
Yes.
You look like the guy that got killed like in the
I
first season.
support his message.
From the hidden list.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The
Oh,
guy,
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
the water dude
Yeah.
that did like the mirror shit,
Yeah.
and then Naruto bodied you. So why are you talking?
I'm talking because I can.
But he
Why are you
died.
trying to divide me
But
from the
he
camera?
died.
Why are you trying to divide me from
How
the camera?
does dead people talk?
How are you trying to divide me from the camera?
Because he's dead.
You're not saying the mantra, which is one of the arguments.
If you would have said like fucking Sasuke or some shit, like fuck. Sasuke's still here. Like that dude is irrelevant. He's dead.
From the Hidden Leaf Village.
Nah, hidden mist. What's his name? I'm about to do that shit.
You can't fucking read what that says, bro. Why the fuck are you here?
It's alright, boy.
Do you
Everybody
not
got.
see what the fuck I'm wearing?
Go
I
tell-
can't see. First of all,
go
one of my
tell
eyes
your
is
dog.
covered.
Go
I don't
tell
think you
your dog.
understand.
It's the same
The other
shit.
one is like blocked
tell
by
your
some
dog.
wig shit.
Did you get drunk on the story?
I might have.
Okay.
Anyway, let's pretend. He's
Alright, I
a
get
ninja.
it.
We can't see him, right?
He got fucked up in Astoria. Woo!
Yeah.
The ghost from the hidden mist village that died, like episode 3.
Is he doing what is this?
No, I'm saying that he's not dividing us now. Everyone's saying he will not divide us. That's future tense. He's not dividing us now.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Exactly right. You
Wait,
understand?
hold on. He ain't even hated. He's saying
Dead, bro.
Hold on. He's saying future tense. He is not dividing us. Meaning, future tense in the future.
Yeah, right.
He didn't divide us.
Y'all
It
trying
worked.
to roast me
Basically,
on
he's
this
saying
He's not
future
dividing
tense.
us.
It
We're all
worked.
unified together, and y'all trying to roast me. I can't believe it. That's all I'm trying to say.
See, but you gotta get your point across better, bro.
But,
Why are you scared of the balloon? Why are you scared of the balloon,
I
hidden mist?
cannot see. I don't think you understand.
Your delivery was a little off-putting. That's all it was.
I know.
We'll just blame the alcohol. It's alright.
It's okay, bro.
See, that's it. That was so easy. My bad, bro. We apologize for that.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not.
Praise Bob. Bob.
The times is coming.
Praise Bob. Praise Cat. Free Pepe. Hello, Discord chat. How are you guys?
Why are you?
Free stuff.
Hey, every day for
Free stuff.
You will not divide us. You will not divide us. Where am I?
Why is he anyone
This is socialism that Bernie Sanders supported. Cookies for everyone.
What's going on?
This is outer heaven, right? Yeah, hi. It's me Nico. I'm a massive faggot, or a Futanari is not a pasta dish in the chat. What's poppin', guys?
Let's go, Dick Masterson. Come on. I love it.
What's up, Discord? I like Doritos.
Giving out free Doritos.
I like Doritos.
Shout out to Dick Masterson, all the dickheads.
Shout out to Mahmoud's
Make
Corner.
America great again.
Mahmoud's halal food by the
And men are better than women.
I like Doritos.
Can I just honestly give my opinion on what this art project means? I don't think that this art project is meant to unite us. I feel like this art project divides us more than the he that it's referencing. Because if you're going to demonize Donald Trump, who some people on the right have elected as their president, and people on the left haven't, then this art project is going to divide us more than this demonized version of Trump ever will. And I'm not even trolling, I'm not even faking this. This is my own actual opinion on this. This is a shit art installation. This is gonna divide us more than Trump will.
Yeah. You tried, man. GG.
What's up, guys? I know not all of you are Jewish like I am, but if you want to help our cause, 4chan is actually trolling this feed. If you can join the Jewish Israeli Defense Force, we would love your help. Just
Stop
go to
breaking character.
what?
Stop breaking character.
Stop breaking character? What are you talking about?
You're smiling.
I can't help it.
I understand. Don't worry, man.
On my trip to Israel, I actually brought back a sketchbook and some markers.
On my trip to Israel, I brought back Igor Bogdanov.
So if you'd like me to draw some nice pictures,
I want
tweet
you
them.
to draw some pictures.
Really? Okay. Let me draw a
You want
nice
to
piece of
show?
art. I got markers.
Yo.
I'm just saying
You know
that
that the
I'm
Illuminati
aware.
was
Once you're
actually trying to
enlightened,
save the world?
Yeah. You're smart. You're smart, man. Yo. My son over here just like taught us about something called smart memes, right? He's like, all the memes that are out here now are trying to dumb us down. They're like all the same repetitive memes that aren't smart. So we need smart memes. We need more smart memes. Like the memes that he said. He said a great meme. He was like, there's a picture of Donald Trump that had, right? You want to say it?
It was instead of Donald Trump standing by a podium, it was Darth Vader, and the caption was, building the Death Star will create millions of jobs.
Yeah.
And it's literally like the exact same thing Trump was saying when he's saying building the wall will create millions of jobs, but it's keeping a million people out, so I don't know who's benefiting from that.
It's making you think. It's making you think. It's making you use a bit more brain power. You feel me? So we need smart memes out there.
If we
need
don't
more
have smart memes, if you can't make smart memes, just keep stupid memes out.
Exactly. So either we kick out all the stupid memes, or we just replace them with smart memes.
Also, shout out to Lover Boy.
I don't find memes that are like
We got it. Shows art.
All right, what's up? I finished my first art piece. It was a request from Twitter by R9K. I hope you like it. Shout out to R9K on Twitter. Hope you guys enjoy.
So you really want to?
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Wait, I got some.
Wait, it's racist?
Yo, man, I'm ready to pack it.
No, I got this.
This is one interesting place.
Oh,
I never looked
what that
into
is.
it.
No, I got this request.
It's like they're merging Pepe and Kek. Just fucking
Wait, what's the
Kek is like.
Believe me, I know. Although if it does come from like,
I'm not eating anything.
no, if it comes from like
drink
the
the water.
actual delivery guy,
Shit, I drink the water.
if it's sealed, it's fine. Like not everyone's out to get us. You gotta understand that.
No, I got the request from Twitter.
Really?
Yeah, they
Oh,
posted
alright, see,
an
that's
image.
different. It's like one of the Martin Shkreli sites.
What? Person giving
So,
you advice.
hopefully you guys enjoyed that first picture. Keep the request coming.
I'll keep delivering.
No Keks.
Yeah, no cats.
I'm
gonna look that up right now. So I don't know.
End is coming. Revelation, the last part of the Bible. Read it.
Because that merging like sets up like
He's gonna draw a frog. No, I'm not gonna draw a frog.
you know that bullshit on the internet? Yeah, they're wilding out. I don't like it. The people that come here that are Polish shit, they only say things because they like say something, walk away, go to their phone, they're like, ha ha ha, they saw me. Like, that's very effective.
Who's? Oh, well, this is one of the different factory guy. Yes.
Yeah, see, that's different. But like, if you're just trying to like, just to use that for just shout it to different things. If you're trying to get you can decide what you want. We can sing happy birthday.
No. I was going to say
We can sing happy birthday to Alright, we're gonna sing happy birthday to Sam.
Sam Hyde?
Sam Hyde.
Who's Sam?
Sam Hyde. This is Fred. He's a big
Watch
organizer.
it right now?
Yeah.
Alright, hi Sam!
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sam. Happy birthday to you. Yeah. Woo! Shouts out to Sam Hyde.
Another request from Twitter. Hope you enjoy it. Keep the request coming.
Oh my god.
No.
Pepe frog's back.
On the back, on the back.
No Kek.
Oh my god.
Wait, but where's the Pepe? I want to see the Pepe. I'm good at drawing Pepes.
No, not that.
Mods are faggots.
Yo, I want to say hi to my mom.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom.
I'm really tired of work. I
Jump in really quick so like everyone's peace and not say hi to mom. Thanks. Mods are fucking cucks. I thought I was a fucking beta faggot, but fuck those guys. And don't be dicks. Stop doxing people. I'm just here to have a good time, and honestly, I feel so attacked right now. So if you guys could stop making edits of my face, that'd be great. Thank you.
People turning you into memes.
They really are. I don't like it. Stop!
Yo, you're
fucking stop!
That's like, I want to be a meme.
Hey guys, another Twitter request.
Hey man, this is like, can I see, like, this is not right.
Wait,
This
what?
is like hate speech at a point. Like,
Wait, what is it?
no, like the one before, isn't that hate speech at a
Yeah,
point?
you
What are you
were
talking
putting,
about?
you were putting like
No, some of it is like hate speech, and that's not right.
This one? Twitter.
That's not right, man.
This says no keck.
Okay, but
Because
like,
it was a joke. Because we were talking about not saying keck and stuff here. Because the guy explained to me that it was racist or something. I didn't even know what it was. So I drew this.
okay, but like,
Yeah,
And then
we're
this
just
one
saying,
was-
but like we're getting like from some of our friends, we're saying that
Yeah.
like some of the stuff that you're drawing is
Wait,
speech.
like what?
Like FA.
Happy or whatever.
No, someone just posted this on Twitter and told me to draw it.
Oh. Well, that's Kermit, right?
I don't know. They just posted the image and said draw this.
Or you guys are
And then
into,
and
like,
then some guy told me that Pepe or whatever was associated with racism, and so I didn't draw it anymore.
Kermit isn't
I'm
racist.
just taking Twitter requests.
I don't know what it is. I'm just saying we got like messages from people and they would prefer if we didn't.
If I didn't draw pictures for people,
Like, people are just...
I mean, I guess I can reverse image search them first to make sure there's nothing racist associated with it. But there's nothing racist about Igor Bogdan. Like, they're just posting images for me to draw on Twitter. I'm Jewish. I'm not racist.
You know, I'm just.
No, but thanks for letting me know. I'll start conversing.
Play Chandelier Gun. Just play Chandelier Gun.
What's
Chandelier?
that?
Huh?
What's that?
I don't know. Some guy was playing Chandelier.
Chandelier. What's chandelier?
Yeah, whatever the fuck. I don't speak Italian. Just play it.
Why are we all here?
Trying to shit on us.
Also, Dude Weed on Twitter. Dude
We
Weed,
will not divide
you're a
us.
bitch, Dude Weed. Fuck Dude Weed. Yeah, fuck you, bro. I'm not nice.
That's why when you
Hey, so this is actually my own personal drawing. I didn't get a request for this. I just got back from Israel, and to show the message, He will not divide us, I drew the Star of David, our symbol, with the United States flag. He will not divide us.
Hey, is that the Freemason logo?
No, it's the Star of David.
Oh, my bad. It looks like the Freemason. Because you know how the Freemason's like this?
Yeah.
It's like that?
Yeah,
It's like two V's. Like.
but
Alright, my bad. I didn't
Jewish
see it.
people aren't.
The heart is right here. The love is right here. I can stand right here.
Have any of you
Freedom, right?
seen
Freedom
my
of speech, right?
lost brother, Yassine? I'm looking for him. My lost brother. Tell me if you see him, bro. Tell me if you see him.
look at you like
Oh, no.
Fifth Amendment. Dude, what the fuck? Who dropped the cookies? Come on, guys.
you want some cookies? There's more cookies right here.
Oh, no thank you. I'm just complaining because like someone's got to clean it up now.
It's not. We all been taking time to clean it up.
That makes sense. Sure.
I've been here all day and I'm like, I haven't been anything wrong. You've been out here all day. These are the good ones. I'm not doing shit.
No lie, guys. Come on, guys. Don't drop cookies. Clean it up, guys.
Now, I'm going to.
Hey, man.
Nonsense.
It's interesting and it's also kind of
Probably
policies are real. You do understand that to become a great country, you do have to have good relationships with your fellow other continents and countries. You cannot build a wall and make a statement that you can't enter our country. We are not going to help you. There are people suffering in Mexico.
I mean, you can still enter the country. You just have to come legally.
Yeah, you can come legally, but do you know how hard it is to get an immigration rate?
What about the people who wait like 3 to 5 years to come here, and then some other guy crosses the border with his 11
Do you know what's happening with some children in Mexico and in other Central America countries? Why are you not letting me speak? I let you speak, so let me speak. Thank you. What I'm saying is that there are people suffering from human abuse in Mexico. Mexico is suffering. It is a poor country, and we all know that. That is why so much drug. That is why so many drug trafficking is happening. Human trafficking is happening in Mexico. Why? Because they are in poverty, and that is why families are suffering. That is why they want to come into our country to let them in and have an opportunity to start a new life. And because you said immigration policies, you're not an immigrant, right? You guys are, where are you guys from? Can I ask? America. Okay, so you were born and raised in America. So you have no idea what it's like to be an immigrant, do you? You have no idea what you have to do. Okay, what do they have to do to come here? Do you know?
They have to get their immigration visa like everyone else comes by signing up for one and waiting 2 or 3 years to get one. And just like everyone else, except
just like
for
everyone else.
Mexicans come.
Do you know you can get denied, right?
Yeah, you get if you have like if you have a criminal past.
No. Are you serious?
Tell me who
because
gets denied.
My aunt has been denied just because they don't have enough room for people to come in. They don't feel that you are qualified.
Nothing wrong.
Just because they don't feel qualified that my aunt is able to come into our country. I think it's hilarious that you're laughing because you don't. Oh, okay, well. You're still smiling as if this issue isn't real, as if immigrants don't suffer, as if it is so easy to come to America. You say wait 2 to 3 years. There are people that are literally waiting 10 years just to come here.
Well,
do you know how many people?
10 years.
Do you understand how many people try to come into our border every year?
Another example.
How many?
2 nations standing together.
That is true.
Palestine, Israel.
Anyways, so as we can see, these are examples of true privileged cis male that have nothing. Oh, please
There's no such thing as white privilege. No, not at all.
No, not at all.
No.
No.
Explain to me what white privilege is. Yeah, smarter than you guys.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't mess with me, little boy.
Oh, I can't
Do you
even.
really want to try me right now?
Explain to me what white privilege is.
Explain to me what white privilege is. Please tell me.
No, I mean, you're the one who's saying white privilege is real. Explain to me what white privilege is.
Can you explain to me what white
What does
privilege
that
is
even mean?
first?
What is white privilege?
What does white privilege is?
Okay, first thing, can you tell us
If you can't explain what white privilege is,
if you can't explain what it is,
I
I
don't
can't
really
explain what
understand
it
why I
is.
have to explain it to
Well,
you.
'cause if you're
when
gonna
you
say
guys are the
something-
perfect example. Why can't you explain to me what white privilege isn't? Tell me what white privilege isn't first.
Wait, we can't really say what it
Yes,
isn't.
you can. Yes,
What is
you
it then?
can.
What is white privilege?
Yes, you can.
What is my white privilege? Why am I more privileged than anyone else here?
You explain to me what white privilege isn't. Tell me what white privilege isn't first.
Wait, we can't really say what it
Yes, you
isn't.
can. Yes,
What
you
is it
can.
then? What is white privilege?
Yes, you can.
What is my white privilege? Why am I more privileged than anyone else here?
Are you serious? Have you ever
Because
been
you're a fucking
stopped?
white male.
Have you ever been stopped by a police for searching you for no reason, no apparent reason? You
Yes.
walked up. Do you know for what? Why did they search you then?
Okay, I was on the subway.
Mhm.
I was walking. The police were like, "Come here, let me search your bag."
How do you know
Like-
that's true? You just make that up.
Yeah.
I'm brown. I'm Puerto Rican. I get stopped by the police all the fucking time, guys.
I'm Puerto
There's no
Rican.
such thing as white privilege.
What?
There is no such thing as white
Yeah,
privilege.
you're right. Good job.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm
Are you
serious.
really saying
Yes.
that?
Well, if you can't explain to me what white privilege is, then what are you talking about?
Can you explain to me what white
That
privilege
doesn't make
is?
sense.
That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. I'm sorry. If you can't explain what it is in the first place, how are we supposed to deny it?
Because you guys are denying me already.
It is the benefits you guys get for your skin colors. That's what
What
white
is
privilege
it? But what
What
benefits?
The fact that
benefit?
you guys do not get stopped by the police as often as African Americans and Hispanics do.
Well, to be fair, blacks on this community do commit way more violence.
Wow.
Wow.
Jesus
So every fucking
Is that not-
minority, every minority
So you
commits crimes,
realistically
guys.
don't think
Wow,
white people
good
ever
job.
done anything wrong?
You guys
first
are
of all,
so-
first of all,
Who
how did
fucking
America came
rejected?
to be?
We conquered the Native Americans.
So you conquered.
Yeah.
Listen to the word conquered. They say they
Did we not?
conquered the Native Americans.
That is
Yeah,
conquered.
conquered.
Conquered. Such a harsh sounding
Yeah,
word.
not even you were beautifying the word. You guys literally went into America and took the rights
Yeah.
of all Native Americans and abolished their fucking
Yeah, we did.
community to take over what's not yours, and you feel like that's not privilege, that you could just come into
so what happened?
come
What
into
happened?
a random country and
What
just be
happened
like,
200?
hey,
What happened
this
200 plus
is-
years ago is not relevant today, and there's
Are
no
you
white privilege.
serious?
Is it our fault that they came?
You are still reaping the benefits that your ancestors had so many years ago. You realize how much money comes
What are you talking
down
about?
your lineage? Ancestors who own plantations have money. Do you know
Well,
what the
this is
concept
not-
of old money is? Old money, all that money getting passed down. I came from nothing. My family came from nothing.
And what?
And I have nothing now.
And
I have a
what?
headband and a wig.
How are you laughing at this?
It's ridiculous. You
It's
guys
not
are
ridiculous.
You guys don't know what you're talking about.
It is not ridiculous. That's a
Take that love
minority.
sticker.
You have much more opportunity than I do.
I don't.
Yes, you do.
How so?
Are you kidding me? Do you know what job interviews? Of course, you guys aren't working yet because you guys have the privilege of not working. Okay, yes, what?
I have a job 15 and
So I was working when I was 14. What's your point? Thanks. Yeah,
I have a
'cause
job.
you have parents taking care of you. Okay, that's great. You have a job.
Well,
Good for you.
I live in
but
Astoria
do you
like everyone
understand?
else
I don't
here.
care. I don't care.
Astoria's
I'm
gentrified
raised
as hell
in
and
Queens.
hella
Yeah, you don't.
I don't
you
live in
yeah.
Astoria. I'll have to live in the Bronx.
I'm from the Queens.
Wow.
Okay, so why did you say where you're living? Why don't she can't say where he lives, but you can say where you live? Anyways, so what I'm saying is that, do you know when I'm applying for jobs, I actually have to change my Chinese name in order to just gain more opportunities? That is not true. You've never applied for a job, so how would you know? You literally never applied for a job. I just want you to know that you're living in a fucked up mentality, but go ahead, you are so privileged. No, you have nothing to worry about. No, I am so happy for you guys, because you have no sense of sympathy for anyone besides yourself. And it's wonderful. It's
Excuse me.
wonderful that you guys are so amazing at doing so.
You think I'm white?
I am. It doesn't matter. Even if you're not white, you are not. You're a man in the first place. You are not sympathetic.
So,
You have no empathy
did you
for
just assume
others.
his gender? Did you just assume his gender?
You guys are literally
White people
standing
did
here-
nothing wrong!
You guys on the live stream.
Good.
You guys been standing here just what is your plan?
We're standing here. We're allowed to, so we can.
No, I'm not saying you're not allowed to.
Yeah.
You guys are so allowed to, but what is your point?
I think they want to spread their messages.
So keep on spreading your corrupted message, because I don't know where you. I don't know where
Who are you to say that our message is corrupt?
me, because
I'm
like you guys
chaotic neutral.
always like.
Okay, I could.
Writers always say, right? We have our own opinion, so I have my opinion.
Exactly.
I think what you're saying is corrupt. You can say what I'm saying is corrupt.
I'm against
but
this whole,
you
like,
can't
overall
ask me
society. I'm
why
against
do
this
I
isolation.
think what your
I'm not.
philosophy is.
It's like I think
Liberal,
your
I'm not.
philosophy is corrupt as well because it's
There's those-
really
I just
spreading
hate
lies.
this fucking
Spreading lies. Okay.
I
Yeah,
feel like
spreading
it divides
lies
us
and
more
hate.
than- like what I was saying before, that you said
Wow.
you
Okay.
tried.
Anyways,
Remember that?
with that said, that was great. That was a great example of
White
the
privilege,
world
right?
we live. No, I didn't. Well, I did say that, and that's very true. But this is the world we live in today.
Hilarious.
I hope these young men will learn about
Never in my life.
intersectionality because
What they want to do though, it's not.
because it teaches you about identity within gender, race, and social. Oh my God. Anyways, I am done. So he will not divide us. He will not divide us. Especially these people will not.
I am the division! I am Flatman! I am the knight! I am the knight! I am retarded
He will not divide us. 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 He will not divide us.
I'm not. Darren Zabby did nothing wrong! Nothing wrong! The Empire deserved it! The Freddies deserved it! That's right! That's right!
You won. Congratulations.
Thank you.
She walked away.
You deserve a cookie.
Yes, I do. I'm not even political, honestly. I just like screaming in front of cameras. Woo!
Thank you so much for
argument.
that. That was great.
What did Jason? Okay, I didn't know you were there. I had conversations with him in his car. I sat with him in the car.
Yeah, that's gonna be quaking, buddy.
Don't get mad at me for not putting this together.
Okay, since they're huge.
Here's a drawing of my home in Israel. I'm only there about half the time, but hope you enjoy.
Are you guys proud of yourselves? You made a perfectly nice young lady leave because you guys couldn't accept someone else's point of view.
Okay, so let's be here, fam. White people did nothing wrong. No one did nothing wrong. The Jews did nothing wrong. The black people did nothing wrong. Who was wrong? Who is wrong?
That's the question.
Who is wrong? Who is right? Who did 9/11? Who is he? Who is he?
Whoever you want.
Who is he? Is he Clinton? Is he Trump? Is he Bush? Who is he? Who is he? No, I'm tough guy like Shia LaBeouf. I'm too much of a pussy for this. Shit, I'm too fat for this shit. Oh shit.
I can't even fucking
God. Reed!
Did you say Reed?
No, Reed.
What's Reed?
It's a long story.
Hell, you can tell me.
Fucking normal fags! Get off my camera! Oh, my throat.
They're gonna take
fucking killing me. I need some water. I ain't taking your water. No, I ain't taking your water. It's probably full of laxative or some shit.
You might need it.
I'm good. I'm just shitposting front of camera.
You sure you don't want the water though? Take it.
Dude, I don't want to be shitting all night. No offense to you, but I really don't want to get the shits. I really don't want to get the shits.
Understandable.
Yeah.
I probably did put laxative.
Exactly. So what the hell do I do in this thing? Are people supposed to be screaming at me?
Not right now. Before you came here, some guy would have yelled at you.
Oh, what do you mean Shia LaBeouf, the little wannabe tough guy who's supposed to... Oh! Do it! Punch me, man! Fucking punch me! You mean that Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah, he probably would have done something.
Sorry, it's not now. Whatever. Oh boy.
He's pretty dead right now.
Yep, seems like it. I think I scared him off with the screaming. Unfortunately. I mean, I'm fucking crazy, man. And I'm not even drugs right now. I'm just a fucking idiot. You know who I am. Oh boy.
Holy shit.
What?
I'm impressed.
What?
Whatever I did subtly wasn't enough. But
Oh, are you the guy they're talking about on hold?
yeah, beta cuckanon.
Oh, you gotta be fat. You gotta be a big guy. That's a secret.
For you,
Maybe. For you, Dr. Pavel.
Is more pizza?
CIA.
More pizza.
I'll take you for the pizza. Whatever you put in there, I'll take it.
Whose side is that?
Guys, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. She was hot and like I don't know. I wasn't red pilled enough and I let the temptations of a woman get to me. Please forgive me, senpais. Please. Please, senpais, forgive me.
Don't mess up.
Fine.
Oh, the same guy. Okay, don't trash. Everybody can have pizza.
Yo, thank you for the pizza.
Everybody's hungry?
Yeah.
Thank you for the pizza.
Whatever you put in it, I really don't care. I'm just really hungry, right?
Well, only if
Thank you, family.
Oh, watch this.
This
No one
pizza
telling
here,
me.
y'all.
No.
Come on, man. I know you trusted, but come on.
Just grab it.
He will divide us! He will divide us! He will divide us! He will divide us!
We gotta take it.
I like pizza.
Oh shit, cheese pizza, how much?
Yeah, that got you. Come on, Pete, come on, grab something.
Oh no.
Yeah, take it.
I'm just here screwing a microphone, really.
If it's here, we might as well eat. You know what? Nobody offered the pops anything. Let me go offer
Susan,
them something.
if you see this, I want to marry you.
You take the spot.
Take the spot.
I could taste
Yeah.
the life.
I'm gonna plate.
You're being my dreams tonight. Promise you that.
Wait, I'm gonna walk over there with you.
Free my boy Pizza Streams, you know, they really copyrighted it.
Good shit.
It's true, you know.
Oh yeah.
The guy that was arguing against the Asian guy.
Oh.
Yeah, they both
Well,
left.
They left?
Even the mean screams
Yeah,
like
it's
a
all
retard.
No, the one that was like.
The little white kid in the fat guy.
Yeah.
Oh, alright. I think that, yeah, I saw them leaving.
Damn. I can't redeem myself.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that they're giving me so much shit in the
It's
Discord
like
now, and
ZP Illuminati.
I like some blankets because fucking cold. So.
You're a bigger guy than I am. I don't give a fuck.
I'm gonna go now, right?
You wanna?
Make sure I'll send more
I'm just gonna
pizzas.
hand it right back. I'm just holding up to the camera.
Take care, everybody.
Yeah, there's
Go on.
plenty more. Hey. I have to thank the pizza guy. Oh wait, leave one in there for a second. Hey guys, we got some pizza delivered. I just wanted to shout them out real quick. Shout out to Comet Ping Pong Pizza for delivering some cheese pizza to us. It tastes a little weird, but you know, thanks anyway. Be nice to each other. Respect. He will not divide us.
No one did nothing wrong!
There's a fucking war, man.
What happened?
Just, they're all coming from all angles.
Was there a really tall guy with a British accent?
Yeah.
Fucking Dylan! What did he do?
He started fucking shit up. Like, he was coming around, he was saying some crazy shit on the cam. People
You
started
can't
arguing
see
with
me.
him, like, I don't know, is his name Dylan? I don't
He's a
think
drunk ass.
Well, Dylan was like just going fucking crazy. Shout out to Dylan.
Alright, I usually don't show like my mouth on camera because I feel it takes your soul. So I'm a poet and a songwriter, and I'm not a troll with these people. I don't know who these people are. They're probably from Reddit or some other weird place. Please, I'm not with them. I have a poem that I wrote for this occasion. Can you please give me the time of day?
It's
Please.
It's 7:48.
Okay.
January 25th.
Please,
Wednesday.
let me say my poem in peace, please. This poem I wrote, by the way, I'm award winner of the Masterson Award at the Hyde School, which is a boarding school. And this poem is called Acronyms. It's a poem because HWNDU. So pay attention. So today we stand together as one. Here we raise our voices high, and times may seem troubling before you. Do not let fear keep you from your goal. I know it may be difficult. Let yourself be heard through the trouble. All you have to do is look above you. You shall surely witness and check them. Thank you.
1776 right back at you! Oh! 1776, the frogs have been turning gay! Gay!
Right now. Actually died.
Divide this!
Is that a Nintendo World Championship shirt?
Yes, it is.
I like that. Good looks.
Divide by 0!
No one wants to take their garbage. Whatever.
That means you're not gonna divide by anything, son! We ain't divided, we're unified! By 1776 and George Washington and Thomas Jefferson! We are the people, not them, we are the people! We are the people! We are CIA! We are Bain! We are 1776!
Guys, you don't understand. I was only pretending to be retarded.
He was only pretending, and I'm only pretending. Fuck these memes! Endless, baby! The endless men.
Thank you, Shia.
Don't steal my memes! That's fucking copyright, bitch! This bitch is copyright me! I'll tell you! Sorry.
I get a pass. He's giving me a pass.
Kinda.
You will not divide us.
I am the division. I am Dark Knight. I am the Dark Knight. I am the Dark Knight. I am Batman. I am the Batman. I am the Batman. I am the Batman. I am the Black Man. I am the Black Man. I am the Jew. I am the man. I am the law. 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 I am the law! I am the law! I am the law! I am the law! I am the law!
He will not divide us. 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 He will not divide us.
I am only pretending to be retarded. No one actually knows that I am autistic when it's completely obvious that I am autistic. I actually am autistic, by the way. I am autistic.
My little cousin says, don't do that shit. Don't do that.
You're speaking to an actual autist here, so don't speak for me. Let your cousin speak for himself. I am the law! Sammy! Dad! Nothing wrong!
You will not divide us.
I've been drinking a lot before I came here, son. You don't know how it is. You don't know what it's like. You don't know what it's like.
Sober as fuck, dude. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
I am sober. I am not sober. Don't listen to this guy. I am not sober. I am a sexy midget. No one knows who I am.
He will not divide us. He
will
not divide us.
Oh, is this a political thing?
He will not divide us.
This isn't a political thing. This is a scam. They're trying to take your money. 1776, 1776, 1776, 1776.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
I am the man transformed.
He will not divide us.
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 He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
Let's talk about the
He will not
Jews.
divide us.
Don't push the girls, bro.
Sorry.
He will not divide us.
He
He will not divide us.
Don't mess
He will not divide us.
with John Cena.
He will not divide
I
us.
was here.
He will not divide us.
He would complain.
He will not divide us.
He would complain about my screaming.
He will not divide us.
My screaming.
He will not divide us.
I'm
He
a
will not
loud
divide
man.
us.
I am a loud man. An obnoxious loud man.
He will not divide us.
You know I'm doing this?
He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
All right,
He will not divide us.
He will not what?
He will not divide us.
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 No, they will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
I am the divider.
He will not divide us.
I am the divider.
He will not divide us.
I am the divider. I am the divider. I am the one.
He will not divide us.
I am the one. I
He
am
will
the
not
one.
divide
I
us.
am the one. I am the
He will
one.
not divide
I am the
us.
one.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
I am the one.
He will not divide us.
I am the man. I am the love. I am the man. I am the man. I am the one. He is number one. He is number one. He is number one. He is number one.
He will not divide us. Say he will not divide us. Say he will not divide us.
First of all, I apologize. Don't do that. If you don't believe in what's happening right now, go to that word. You would have said.
I do believe
It says
what's happening.
to say he will not divide us.
I did say that.
Okay, so that's it.
Yeah.
No, there's no more else to be said, brother. That, it doesn't say, don't talk to me like that, bro.
Don't attack us.
Don't attack. Who is attacking now?
You're attacking me.
You need to step back. I'm gonna step away.
Stay out of
I'm gonna step away, because y'all a little punk niggas.
I didn't do it.
He will not divide us. 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 He will not divide us.
I'm not shoving nobody. She just shoved him. Don't shove each other. I'm not here for that.
First of all, I put my hand up.
That's fine.
I put him in the
No,
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
But you
He doesn't believe. It's not about right though, because this
He
is
will not divide us. He will not divide us.
This is to say this, bro.
He will not divide us. He will not
This is to
divide
say
us.
this. It's not
He
about
will
your
not
right.
divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
I said I respect it.
He will
But if
not
someone's
divide us. He will not
What he was doing was
divide us.
aggressive.
He will not divide us. 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 He will not divide like to the backyard.
Hey guys, Guy from Israel here again.
Hey!
I just wanted to show off one more drawing. It was actually at the request of my friend here.
Yeah, of course.
Will not be divided.
We will not be
It's a picture of Shia and all of us.
Oh, that's awesome!
You better leave that here, bro.
Yeah, you should.
Like,
Sure.
Yo, can I take a picture of you with it, man?
Take a picture, take a picture.
Sure. Yeah.
If you're not comfortable with you being in it, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
Didn't get it. It's cool. Wait. Hold on.
Thumbs, bro. Them thumbs is suspect. What do you think?
I was not paid to be here. Stop trying to troll me on Twitter.
Who's so dumb?
I do it for free.
Lit.
Jeez Louise.
Because they anti it. They don't want to hear it. They want to do that shit silently when no one's here.
The cringe killed
We
us.
here.
It's too much cringe.
What's up with that?
We litty. Man down.
God bless you.
And, yo, corner hot village in the floor.
Oh no.
Cringe was too much for him. What's gonna happen to you if you try to divide us?
He gonna say he took like some
I'm taking that.
Trump revival pill or some shit.
Nighty night.
Get closer. He will not divide us.
Anime drawing. I don't know what anime is. It's like a
I don't think it's meant to be there.
not subtract
He
us.
will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. How am I supposed to do this? He will not divide us. 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 Put that on your bingo card. He will not divide us. Put that on your bingo card. He will not divide us. Put that on your bingo card. He will not divide us. Put that on your bingo card. He will divide us. He will not 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 divide us.
Yeah, just a drawing of a girl I saw a while ago back here. Woo.
Anyone? Mean people. Yeah, people are
Hey guys, it's a bit cold out here, so
What did you
I'm gonna
draw?
start drawing again. This is incomplete, but I wish the moon would come out.
Is that the Joker? No, it's banana.
No, I'm drawing like the moon. But
Oh,
it's
you want me to
like-
put the flash on it so they can see it?
No, I'm good. I'll just hold it up here.
Good.
I'm almost done. I'll let you know when I'm finished.
You'll make a grand return.
Yeah, I'll be back.
He will not divide us. Such a character. Wait, let me do it.
I'm gonna confront him.
I do. I'll do it.
Did somebody come with me? I'm too short.
That's what he's drawing. All of his thing is white supremacy.
Sucks.
I already knew that. He will not divide us. 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 No, it will not divide us. He 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 will not
It's fucked up.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. Okay. He will not divide. Oh my god, I had no idea. You just looked at sugar. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
we're still here. We're just over to the side having a fantastic political conversation with two lovely people. Come with us, man.
divide us. Is that what we do? We just gotta keep saying it over and over.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
Pussy me kurats! Pussy me kurats! Suck my dick, you heard?
Yo, we've got some Watsumote ass people in the background. I'm trying to convince them to come through. Give them your energy. They're legit like Tomoko level.
New York, and he will not divide us.
coffee?
Is it already paid for?
I'm Cindy, and he will not divide us.
I guess it's up for all of us then.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's one of those.
Yo, tell them you will not divide us.
Did they give a tip?
That's it. That's all you got.
Oh, great.
Drinking your milk. Who wants to see you drink milk? That's all we got.
No, we'll thank them.
Yeah,
probably sold from.
We just did.
That's a great shirt. Back when they could make it great.
Hello? Hello, who is this?
Billy
Oh, this is for the guy with the long hair. Where is he? Where is
There's
he?
a bunch of guys with long hair.
Where is he? He was just here. You, right. What's up? He wants you. 1 second.
I want to talk to you.
Hello?
Wait, where?
Girl with orange hat. There's a girl with orange hat.
Well, I guess there's some benefits for waiting out here.
You were there the day of.
Oh, hey, man.
I didn't
How are
see
you?
a whole lot of
Good. I don't think we met yet. What's up?
What's your name?
Jeremy. Jeremy, nice to meet you. Max. Maximilian. Cool, man. You here for the message?
Yeah.
Yeah? Go for it, man. If you want to, you know, I'll say it.
I'm saying it.
He will not divide us.
See, guys, wasn't that great?
He will not divide us.
I did find it interesting about it.
He will not divide us. He will not divide
Like
us.
the black. He was there too, and I was like, of course I see this guy. No, he was the one who was talking on the microphone. One day.
You want to step on?
Yeah.
Ah,
this guy. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not
You know
divide
what I
us.
found weird?
Prosecute George Soros.
There was this one guy.
He will not divide us.
I thought it was interesting that CNN edited out.
He will not divide us.
Bill and Bill.
He will not divide us. 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 Divide us. He will not divide us.
Nice to meet you.
It was really nice meeting you.
No worries, you're good. Hey guys, it's the guy who took a Twitter request here. It's really cold out tonight, so I'm gonna head home. But thank you for all the Twitter requests. I'll see you again.
It was beautiful meeting you,
Yeah,
man.
nice meeting
Bless
you.
you,
Thanks for
man. You
coming
did God's
out.
work. I'll shake your
Thank you
hand,
very
but
much.
and this is for everyone that wanted it.
As a reminder,
Oh, you got it.
As a reminder, Donald Trump owes delegates to Ted Cruz.
Alright, man.
What was the
Dedicated to my goddess. To my goddess. I just wanted to say that my name is Naruto Uzumaki. I'm from this book. I think you can see the resemblance. I think you can see the resemblance. Excuse me, guys. As I was saying, I think you can see the resemblance, especially in the dragon region. Thank you. God bless.
He will not inside us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. Not divide us. He will not divide us. Not divide us. Not divide us. Not divide us.
My fucking ear, if you could stop, thank you.
He will not divide us. 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 He will not. Get the fuck up! Get the fuck up! Get the fuck up! Get the fuck up! Stop the fuck up! He will not divide us. Neither will fucking he. So don't come out here if you're a troll.
He will not inside us.
Allahu Akbar. Divide us. Allahu Akbar. Thank you. Not divide us. He will 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 not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
Get in here.
He will not divide us.
He will unite us. He will unite us. He will unite us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will unite us. He will not divide 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 us. Yeah. 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 He will not divide us. I will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. They're saying what we're saying. He will not divide us. 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 He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
Down, I guess.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Hi.
I'm from the museum.
Hi.
We can't be loud is what they're saying. So we're just gonna keep doing our thing, and we're gonna keep it down so the neighbors can sleep.
He will not divide us. 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 He will not divide us.
Oh, God, guys. You guys are fantastic.
He will not divide us. 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 He will unite us. He will not divide 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 us.
We're not gonna anti-chant you guys.
He will not divide.
Don't worry about it.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
We're gonna go get some food. Yes. We're hungry motherfuckers, and then we'll be back.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. divide us. He will not 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 divide us.
Do not divide us.
He will not divide us.
Do not divide us.
He will not divide us.
Do not divide
He
us.
will not divide us.
Do not divide us.
He will not divide us.
Do not divide us.
He will not divide
Do
us.
not divide us.
He will not
Do not divide us. 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 Do not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
You will
He will
multiply
not divide
us.
us. He will not divide 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 us.
This is why advertising works.
He will not divide us.
He will not
He will
divide
not
us.
divide us.
He will
He will not divide us.
He
He
will
will
not
not divide us. He will not divide us.
He won't divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not
He will
divide
not
us.
divide us.
He will not
He will
divide
not
us.
divide us.
He will not
He will not
divide
divide
us.
us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not
He will not divide us.
He will not
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
Can somebody tell me why at 12?
We love you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching us. Please come join us. Come and shit talk with us. Shit posted real life. Come on. We love you guys. Come join us. Come join us.
Only in New York City will you see a garbage truck come on after midnight.
He will not divide us. 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 He will not divide us.
Wait, you were
He
here
will
last
not
night.
divide us.
You were the...
He will not divide us.
We were
He
here
will
together,
not divide
right?
us.
Yeah. You were standing right there. Because you had your hood on, that's why I didn't recognize you.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will
He will not divide us.
Yeah, I see you again.
He will not divide us. He will not
not divide us. He will 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 not divide us.
How much is a CTR paying you guys?
He will not divide us. 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 He will not divide us.
I just heard that.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
I'd be here all day.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
Do we make it?
He will not divide us.
Didn't divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not. He will not divide us. Keep her in the bedroom. He will not divide us. 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 What's your name, bro? He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
Kiss!
World star.
World star!
It's Shia LaBeouf getting in someone's face.
Give him a kiss!
His neighbors. No, he's not.
What do you mean, no, he's not?
He's not getting in his face. That guy
What do you
came,
consider
the guy
that?
came to him.
No, he didn't. Shia LaBeouf walked up to him.
No, he didn't.
So what exactly happened? Why are they like all confrontational and shit?
I don't think it's confrontational.
When someone gets up and, okay, well, regardless of who got into whose face, why would they be speaking that close together? It's not confrontational.
It's very, maybe it's personal.
I'm assuming it's personal.
I mean, they're both there, right? It's not like one guy's backing down. They're both talking to each other very personally.
I think Shia's doing all the talking.
Well, he's probably saying something worth listening to.
Yes, already. The Force is with us and we're one with the Force. The Force is with us and we're one with the Force.
He will not divide us. 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 He He will not divide us. 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 He will not divide us.
I didn't hit anybody, alright?
He will not divide us. 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 He will not divide us.
He will
He will
unite
not
us.
divide us.
He will
He will
unite
not
us.
divide us. He will not 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 divide us.
He will unite us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
Shia is innocent.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
I don't even want to do it to you.
He will not divide us. 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 He will not divide us.
I mean,
He will not divide us.
it's so violent.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
It's on that.
He will not divide us.
He
He will not divide us.
will not divide us.
He will not divide us. Even when you're art?
He will not divide us. I don't know where it is. He will not divide us.
What kind of canvas?
He will not
Is it
divide
this
us.
way? No, it's not that
He
big.
will not divide us.
Me and my boys, we did
He will not divide us.
canvas, and I
He
put
will not divide us.
my boy who recently
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
divide us.
He will not divide
He will
us.
not divide us.
He will not
He will not divide us.
He will not
He will not divide us.
He will not
He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not
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 He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
You're good, man.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not
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 He will not divide us. 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 He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
Can you cut off real quick?
He will not divide us.
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 He will
He will not divide us.
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 He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will
He will not divide us.
He will not divide
He will
us.
not
He will
divide
not
us.
divide us.
He will not 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 divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide Shia either.
He will not
Free
divide
Shia.
us. He will not divide us.
Shia.
He will not divide us.
He
He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not
He will
divide
not
us.
divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not
He will not
divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
Even with Nazi violence, He will
He will
not
not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. Oh yay, it's just us. There's so much happiness and love here right now. This is so beautiful. He will not divide us. 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 He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He didn't hurt anybody. He will not divide us. 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 He will not.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
Yeah. That was awesome.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not.
It's a bunch of bullshit. He will not divide us.
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 He will not divide us. Hey, be nice. Everybody be nice down here, man. Just be nice. That's the only requirement. Be nice. He will not divide us. That's all I ask. Be nice. Pro this, pro that. Cool, man. Be nice. He will not divide us.
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 He will not divide us. Just be nice. The only requirement is be nice.
He will not divide us.
Just don't be a fucking Nazi. Don't pro. Get pro this. Cool.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
Yeah, don't be a Nazi.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. How are we gonna fucking make this shit okay? How are we gonna make this shit okay to be a Nazi out here? That's bullshit, bro. It's not okay. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
There does not need to be a thousand.
He will not divide us.
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 He will not
He
divide
will
us.
not divide us. He will 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 not divide us.
He He will not divide us. 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 Free Shia. He will not divide us. Fuck you, you Nazis. He will not divide us. 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 He will not divide us.
Shia is getting arrested as we speak.
He will not divide us.
I'm having a quesarito. Pretty dope night. It's crazy.
He will not divide us. 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 He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
Shia took a hit for us. There were all these Nazis here. He came out and tried to protect us.
He will not divide 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 us.
Shia will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide
divide us.
He will not 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 divide us.
He will not.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. Fuck you,
He will
4chan.
not divide. He will not divide us. 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 He will not divide us.
I'm not here to overturn you, don't
He will
worry.
not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
I don't want to block you, that's why
He
I
will
want
not
to.
divide us.
Alright,
He
well
will
anyway.
not divide us.
He didn't put his hands on me, he hit someone else, and then the whole thing happened. But I'm cool, I tried to separate the fight.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will
I
not
hate
divide
stepping in
us.
front of you, I'm so sorry.
He will not divide us. He will not
So,
divide us.
I spoke to someone who runs shit around here. The future of this is uncertain. Just want to let that be known. It's pretty fucking crazy. I hope the camera stays up.
He will not divide us.
Where's your red hat,
He
Blar?
will not divide us.
Red hat.
Yeah, you had the red hat
He
the
will
other
not
day.
divide us. He will not 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 divide us. He will
No
not
chicken
divide
tendies
us.
tonight?
He will not divide
Taco Bell
us.
kind of night.
He will not divide us.
I guess.
I feel bad for the
He will
environment.
not
You got,
divide
like,
us.
12 tacos? I know I only ate one. Thank you, baby.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
This is the kind of night that calls for Taco Bell. Oh, I'm gonna divide this taco.
Divide us. He will not 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 divide us.
Right now. That's not Shiloh, but that's family getting arrested right now.
4chan will not divide us. Reddit will not divide us.
Listen,
TOS
he will not divide us.
will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. Tweet the hashtag. to the precinct free Shia right now. They arrested him because he's a celebrity. They didn't arrest him because he should have been. Listen. I don't want to speak on that. I'm sorry. Actually, I shouldn't speak on that. I shouldn't say that. I'm sorry. I should not say that. I'm speaking out of turn. I should not say that. Scratch all that. I didn't mean that. I got too excited. I shouldn't have said that. Can you tell them why you came down here? Can you tell these people why you came down here?
He will not divide us. That's the reason.
You saw that Shia
National
was arrested.
Socialist German Workers' Party. No Nazis.
He will not divide us. Right now is not the time. Some people are mad right now. Some people are happy right now to see Shia LaBeouf in jail. They think that they slowed us down. They didn't slow us down. Y'all only sped us up because he will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will
not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. This pizza is for Shia LaBeouf. This pizza is for you right here. This pizza represents love. This pizza represents unity.
This slice is love. This is a slice of love right here.
This slice
express my love.
This slice represents he will not divide us.
Here's the binder slice.
We're gonna stay together.
Right.
This slice.
Hey guys, I'm gonna be right back, okay?
Alright, he's coming back.
I'm gonna be right back. More slices, more love.
He will not divide us, paper. He will not divide us. He will not divide us, paper. He will not divide us. And you're holding up your pizza.
I wish this was Comet Pizza.
Listen, and you're holding up your pizza that symbolizes freedom. He got arrested. That's why we're doing this right now. See, some people don't know he's arrested. I hope you guys are using the hashtag free Shia. A lot of people don't know that he's arrested.
He got arrested on camera.
He got arrested live on camera here.
I've been here for the past 3 days.
I'm saying, welcome back.
Would you guys like some pizza?
Yes. He will not divide us. 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 He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. Whip. He will not divide us. Hey. He will not divide us. Swag. He will not divide us. Hey. 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 He will not divide us. Nice dance. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. Spread love. He will not divide us. Spread peace. He will not divide us. Free Shia. He will not.
I'm gonna get so many more Tinder matches.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. Oh yeah.
On the other side. Pizza parties and motivational male stripping and kids events at the same party.
Hey, she got my exclusive trading card. Everyone who gets an exclusive trading card from me and says he will not divide us, y'all know I sign it. But this is bigger than that. Right now, because right now he will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. Holy shit.
He will not divide us.
Praise Keck.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
Late night, he will not divide us. Spreading love, he will not divide us. He will not divide us. This is Shia, he will not divide us. This is Shia, he will not divide us. Love buff, he will not divide us. We need you, he will not divide us. We can't, he will not divide us. Let's lock arms, he will not divide us. Lock arms, he will not divide us. Everybody, he will not divide us. In the back, he will not divide us. Lock arms, he will not divide us. He will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. Let's hear it. He will not divide us. Free Shia, he will not divide us. Get it trending, he will not divide us. Let him see it. He will not divide us. Let's go. He will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. That's trending. He will not divide us. Free Shia, he will not divide us. Hey, 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 he will not divide us. 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 He will not divide us.
Spread peace.
He will not divide us.
Tonight, he will not divide us. It's our time. He will not divide us. It's our time. He will not divide us. It's our time. He will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. It's our time. He will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. Hey, he will not divide us. It's our time. He will not divide us. Right now, he will not divide us. Hey, he will not. I came to have fun. He will not divide us. Hey, he will not. In the comment, I'm about to shout you out. We need Shia needs you. He will not divide us. Right now, he will not divide us. He will not divide us. Nobody, he will not divide us. Online, he will not divide us. At night, he will not divide us. On time, he will not divide us. Let me hear it. He will not divide us. 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 Yo, they try to divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. They try to divide us. They try to lock up Shia LaBeouf, our homie. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He's family. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He's friend. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He's so nice. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. I can't wait till y'all get to meet him. He will not divide us. He's been spreading so much love. He will not divide us. He's been so kind to everybody. He will not divide us. Shout out the whole team here. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
Shout out Charles Carroll and Nick Rochford.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
And shout out to James Price.
He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not divide us.
He will not. They are.
They are.
Yeah, I think they're
messing with you.
We're doing a stream.
Is it food
No, I think they're messing with him.
Or is the food for her?
They keep bringing food here.
But some people
sometimes
don't.
they mess around.
Like, that's not paid for, right?
No, excuse me. Hello?
He will not divide us.
The
Shout out to the_nut_cracker for using the hashtag even Stevens paper and free Shia. Y'all got it number 3 trending.
Okay. Thank you.
Is it already paid for?
Give me 1 second. You call the lady, okay?
Wow.
My phone is it? Hello? Oh, is it paid for? Oh, thank you so much.
Okay, shout out.
Yeah, I don't know what this is, but
Okay. Love you too. Bye. Cool. It's paid for.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you guys can have fun.
Yo, shout out who just sent us some food. Shout out to who sent us some food. And yo, I want to shout you out. Whoever that was who should not sent some food. He will not divide us. We're gonna find out. Hashtag even Stevens paper. Shout out everybody sending us updates and letting us know.
Is that what you wanted?
He will not divide us. 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 He will not. Shout out Cheeseburger Friday. Shout out to Cheeseburger Friday one time. Much love to them. He will not divide us. Spread love. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. Yeah, I'm gonna grab some. Chicken tenders?
Yeah.
Can I grab some?
I love chicken tenders.
Thanks. Shout out to who just sent us chicken tenders. He will not divide us. Y'all use the hashtag even Stevens paper and free Shia. Hey, can y'all take a Snapchat of me with these chicken tenders? And let's take a Snapchat of us with chicken tenders. It's just gonna be a funny meme. This is gonna be a meme.
Chicken tenders.
Let's see who can make the best meme out of this. Alright, we're gonna take a picture on the 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's see who can make the best meme. Y'all got some time. Who can make the best meme? Post it on Twitter. Use the hashtag even Stevens paper. Use the hashtag free Shia. He will not divide us. Shout out Sam Hyde. He says he's coming on Saturday. He will not divide us. And he used the hashtag even Stevens paper. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. Now I know y'all feel that. Oh no, I think this might be Shia LaBeouf. If this is Shia LaBeouf, I'm about to go crazy. It can't be. It's a ghost. It's not Shia LaBeouf. It can't be Shia LaBeouf. Now listen, we said he will not divide us. This is some guy. This is not Shia. He will not divide us. He will not divide. Oh my God, he will not divide us. He will not divide us. Free Shia. We free Shia. My boy's home.
He will not divide us.
He's out of jail.
Shia's out of jail. He made it. Free Shia. Y'all did it. Hashtag free Shia. Aiden Stevens paper. Y'all did it. He will not divide us. Y'all did it. Y'all did it. Shia is free. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. We got Shia back. We got Shia.
He will not divide us.
They said he wasn't gonna do it. They was hating all on Twitter. They said it was never gonna happen. He will not divide us. He's back. I need you. If you went home, get back here right now. Everybody who said you're gonna come back, get here now. I need 100 people here right now. He will not divide us. Shia LaBeouf is back. He will not divide us. You need to get here right now. He will not divide us. He just got out of jail. My man is free. My man is free. He's home. I need somebody to send us something for him right now. You out, bro?
He would not divide us.
Yo, bro.
He would not divide us. He would not divide us. He would not divide us.
What happened?
He would not divide us.
Shia LaBeouf.
No, well, he got so excited that he dropped it.
Oh, okay. It was on accident.
Yeah, it was an accident.
Yeah.
It was an accident.
I didn't know if he was like so excited Shia was and he just like
No,
threw him on the
we kind
ground.
of like embraced and then
Oh,
just
okay.
exploded. Yeah.
That makes sense.
R.I.P. Tendies.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll cool.
R.I.P.
Shia dropped the tendies.